What is going on, everybody? All my gold members and non-gold members for a little bit of time. What's going on? If this is your first time watching me, which if you're a gold member, is definitely not, but you're watching on Facebook, this is how we usually get down with gold members. All my gold members, I'm gonna get ready to post the link to join the chat so that you guys can definitely join in and jump up and pop up and be a part of this thing. Today, we're gonna talk about using talent on corporate shoots. Should you? How should you do it? Why should you do it? Where should you find people? What should you make off using talent? There's a reason why I always push talent during shoots. There's actually two reasons. One has to do with the benefits to the client. The other has to do with the benefits of my profit. So we're going to talk about that today with the gold members who are ready to take the thing to the next level. So while we're doing that, we get a gold members time to jump on and jump in and get this thing going. For those who are watching on Facebook, I want to say thanks for the quick watch real quick. We're about to get ready to go ahead and dive into the real personal, private, deep, dark side of the gold membership where we can get a little raw. Let's let a few things hang out and talk a little bit and chop it up and keep it real, as some would say. So I will see you guys on the gold member side. If you're not a gold member, definitely go to YouTube, hit the join button, and jump in this thing. All right. Everybody watching on Facebook, stay safe. All my gold members, let's get started. Let's do that real quick. And then we can run a few things real quick. Let's do this graphic right here. Why not? We don't do this one that much. All right. Let's get this thing going. What's going on, everybody? It's your guy Ty, and we're here doing our thing. I want to talk to y'all about talent, using talent as a part of your business. Why would you use talent as a part of your business, Ty? It's a lot of reasons. Let me make sure I post this link in the gold member section or post it so people can get to it. Boom, bang, pow. There you go. There's a lot of reasons as to why we use talent, right? So whenever I'm working with clients who aren't familiar with just being on camera and working, talent is always better. Plus, a lot of times people have ideas for commercials and things like that, and they may need to reach a different target audience. I tell people all the time, or a lot of my clients, if you're selling something that is for men, then get you a female spokesman. Get somebody that is engaging, somebody they like to look at while they're talking about the product. If you think that don't work, again, go look at ESPN, go look at Fox News, go look at all of those guys that are look at all those companies that are definitely doing it. So bringing on talent, I don't know for some reason why it says it's from a month ago. That's weird. That's crazy. Bringing on talent is something that will benefit the client a lot. It'll benefit the client a lot. Especially, like I said, the client is not used to being in a situation where they're in front of the camera a lot, right? They're a lot of times they aren't. They want somebody to look professional, look polished. I remember working at TGI Fridays. I used to always encourage them to bring in talent because the bartenders and waiters that they want to bring in because they feel like these guys know it. They do it all the time. That doesn't mean they're good on camera. That doesn't mean that will translate over on camera. That doesn't mean they will smile every time they talk to somebody, and they'll position themselves so that the camera can capture them and the person they're talking to. And actors and talent, they know this. They know how to project. They know how to memorize lines. They know how to present themselves on camera. They know how to turn towards the person but still keep their face towards the camera and say, hey, sir, your seat is here. All of those things that play out well on film don't play out, or things that play out well on film is not what happened in the real world. So you want to make sure you get people who are aware of what happens in the real world. And You want to get people that is aware of what happens on film. I'm sorry, I was sending that link. When it comes to creating content, and actors usually are better. I can't tell you how many times clients insisted we use their employees. Their employees were not happy on camera or not well on camera, and the production didn't come out as great as it could. And the mentality of business owners who hire, they think, well, my bartender knows every drink and knows everything, let's just use them. But knowing everything is not more beneficial than having on screen presence, because they don't need to know everything. They're going to get handed a script. Them knowing everything is of no benefit, but you want to make sure that they are comfortable, that they're talking, that they're smiling, that they're pointing, and they're doing things that represents your brand well. So bringing in talent and grooming them to be a character, which the character is a rep for your brand, works way better than having an actual person. And that's something that I've pushed with clients. Now, it's an add-on, it's an a la carte, it's an upsell item. So keep that in mind as you're doing your structure-based pricing. This is an item that will be in your upsell area. I use this all the time, from voiceovers to having somebody just there just to upsell. And you'd be surprised that even if they want to have their own rep play the part, they don't have a customer, right? As easy it is to tell another rep to, hey, just wear regular clothes, and you're the customer, they don't have it. So we often provide talent to do both. And I kind of have a really good pool of talent where I can get you somebody of almost any age and of almost any ethnicity. So that's something I definitely do. How do you handle a situation? Let me look at this real quick. How do you handle a situation where they're supposed to make people comfortable on camera, but clients want to use employees that are not comfortable? How much is that on us if they aren't comfortable? Okay. So 70% is on them, 30% is on us. Because they're not an actor, right? And I always offer talent. It's always an upsell attempt to offer talent. Because when they don't offer talent and then you're in a situation, you can say, hey, your employee did the best they can do, because they're already sweating bullets and scared to death. Your employee did the best they can do. That's what you get from employees. Or, you want to say that as nice as possible and as tactfully as possible. But, I'm big to point out, your employee did well, as best as to be expected from someone who has no acting experience. There's been times we've stopped shoots right in the middle of the shoot. Like, nah, we got to bring in talent. How soon can you get them here, Ty? Next week? We got to reschedule it. And I'm still charging you for this day of shooting. So it's sometimes it's one of those things that people learn on location. It's happened multiple times. So again, it's an upsell, it's an a la carte item. Usually my reasoning for offering talent is just having better on-screen presence, better knowledge and understanding of portraying the right tone, right? That's important, that they have the right tone, that their voice is in the right places to help you sell, train, or do whatever it is you're trying to do with this content. So it's something that I really have not had a problem with, getting people bringing in talent. Now, where do you get talent, Ty? Where do you find these people? A lot of times I find people on Facebook groups for acting, local acting groups. There's a ton of people at every level who are usually involved in those groups. And let's talk a little bit about pay too, right? Because some people will do it for free to build their portfolio. You can get some great talent for free to build their portfolio. If you say, hey, I'll edit this clip, whatever you do with me, I'll edit it to be a part of your portfolio. Cool. Or you can get talent that's inexpensive. So what is inexpensive, Ty? Inexpensive is $100 to $500 a day. That's inexpensive, right? The average price I usually do is around 200, 250 a day. That's 8-hour shift, right? And that is what I usually pay, somewhere around that part. However, what am I charging that to the client? The client is usually paying double. Whatever I'm charging, the client is paying double. So I'm usually charging 500 for talent easily. Now there may be times where I may charge 500 for talent. We got a 4-day shoot, and then I pay talent, based on that time. So it's something to definitely keep in mind. What type of shoots? What type of shoots calls for talent? I'm sure you wouldn't use it for things like client testimony or brand stories. To be honest, I've used them on both. We've gotten great testimonials from people who were more comfortable writing it than actually saying the testimonial. So I brought in talent to reenact the testimonial. And I'll usually have a little disclaimer, testimonials from actual client reenacted by actors. A lot of these commercials that you're seeing are reenactments from actors from testimonials. In fact, they try to find actors that's done the least amount of work so you won't see their face pop up again. But a majority of testimonials that you see are actors. Just like reality TV is pretty much actors at this point. You want real reality TV, go watch Cops. That's probably the last reality show you'll catch. But often we'll have people, we'll bring in people to redo testimonials. So even brand stories, right? When I have a brand story and I have someone that's standing in front of a business with the business logo on their shirt and they're talking about we started in 19, a lot of that times those are actors, right? Just like with most companies you see on TV that's telling a brand story or selling the item, they're just actors. When you look at State Farm, who is not State Farm, who has Flow? Flo is an actor. She'll talk about brand stories all the time. So, I definitely use talent for all of those. I do use talent for training, especially if a client has a script. We're definitely using talent. I brought in talent that had no lines. They just played a part and was like, yeah, okay. Like, they walked around and was really just talent to be on screen talent. They had no lines. So I brought in stunt talent that trip and fall and do things like that. We're doing safety videos. I've brought in all kind of talent, driving talent. I've brought in more stunt talent to be a part of like a scene where a guy was getting beat up. A guy was getting beat up and we needed people to take the beating. Let me switch and get my earphones on. So usually with talent, I'm charging double. So I'm usually talent. I'm charging for I'm charging my usually structure-based pricing for talent. It's usually an add-on. So I used to do add-on for a solid day, right? $250 per day, period. Even if we're there 4 hours, 8 hours. That's what I was doing. I was thinking about switching it over, doing a base price plus hourly. But the good thing about let's say for instance, if you're doing, and 250 is usually if I have a client or talent that says, hey, I want to do it for free. I want to get my name out here, this, that, and the other. I'm usually doing 500 a day for paid talent. So if they're there for 4 hours, I'm gonna pay them for 4 hours, but the cost for the client is $500. I want to introduce the two gentlemen we have here that just popped up. What's going on, fellas? Everybody good? Everybody good? Let's do that real quick.
Yes. I'm actually at work right now, and the wife is working as well, so I gotta kind of keep it quiet and low key.
Okay. We'll keep it quiet.
I'm at home, just ready to listen in. But
That's
yeah,
okay. Perfect. We're gonna definitely get it going. So yeah, definitely with bringing in talent, and a lot of times a lot of companies, more companies than you think of may want talent. I brought in talent for Samsung. I brought in talent for Toyota. We did a shoot for Toyota, and think about it, right? We brought in 10 people for Toyota. So again, we're charging $500 a head for Toyota. We charge $500 a head, and you do the math, times 10. And Toyota is the type of place where people like, I'll do that for free. If I get Toyota on my reel, sign me up. I'll do that for free. So you often you can pay people, but you can say, hey, we're looking for people that want to be a part of this. I at least feed them. And that's something that I charge when I put that in the fee for bringing on talent. I'm getting lunch for them as well. And that's included in the price. So something to definitely think about. When you are upselling, and depending on what niche you're in, you may be in a niche where, if you're, like I said, if you're doing dog grooming, you may want to get some pets that you can hire to help if that's your niche and you're living in that niche. And once you get a good, like I've had good relationships with my actors, and I shoot a lot of movies too. So actors who I may have hired for a paid gig will definitely jump on board for something that I'm shooting, like a movie where I'm out of pocket and things like that. So it's definitely something to think about. It's definitely something to think about. It's something that you want to be able to offer your client. And like I said, it should be an upsell on your if you're taking the master course, and you're on volume 2, we're getting into proposals and we talk about upsells, and this is listed under an upsell or not, or a la carte. I'm sorry, I have it listed as a la carte. And you want to list the benefits, not just the features, the benefits of talent. You want to make sure you have this listed in that a la carte area. And you want to talk about the benefits of having talent that have on-screen experience. They can just bring a different, more polished look and feel to your video because this is what they do. And you'd be surprised that, because a lot of, they'll beg everybody to get on camera, and a lot of companies, a lot of places around the companies are like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. A lot of employees don't want to be on camera. So, it's been plenty of times. That's been an easy upsell for me to bring in 10 extra people at $500 a head. And it only cost me less than half of that. Any situations where you can think of where an actor wouldn't be good? I honestly can't think of a situation. It's hard for me to think of a situation where an actor wouldn't be good, because actors will make your day go faster because they're used to it. People who aren't will just be there like, I think, let me set it again. Let me see how that look. Actors allow the client to sit back, get a director's monitor, really pay attention, especially if the client is, you're hired for a shoot where they are on screen. They would love to sit back and have a third person view of it. And they can kind of critique and say, oh, don't say that. Make sure you say this. Cool. Let's redo it again. Run it back and, action. And then the actor can say it that way. Hey, when you come to the table, we normally put this first. And you know what I'm saying? When you got somebody, like, give an example, anytime we do restaurants, especially like national chains, things like that, we usually have somebody that's within their team, like legal, and we'd have a bartender on site that would look at, how the actors portraying them and give them tips. Hey, we usually come in and, when we bring a plate down, we don't ask who got this, exactly who got it. So when you bring the plate, just put it right in front of him, put it right in front of, and then ask. And it's just a lot easier than having a bartender who has been doing it for years, but their store do it this way. And, corporate want it done this way. And they're, those habits are kind of hard to break. And then people don't speak like you should speak on film. There's a lot of people that talk real fast like this, and they're doing this, you know what I'm saying? And on camera, they don't think about that. But talent will speak a little clear. They'll speak more clear. They'll be a little more articulate. They'll do things that works well for TV, that the average person just won't. And I mean, not only that, just the mindfulness of the appearance. Talent is always better. Where a lot of people, nobody likes their self, how they sound, that aren't actors on video. They'll be like, oh, well, I don't like how I look, or I don't like yada yada yada. Talent they won't be like that. So it makes your job easier as well. I create music videos, same type of pricing for actors, models. Even if it's, wait, Oh, even for movie storytelling type of shoots. So music videos are different because you usually don't have the budget in a music video. Plus, it's a lot easier to get people to just be in like music videos. But if you have, let's say if the music video has a speaking line in it or there's a story, you know, definitely, definitely. If you're charging, it's just the price is going to be the same. No matter what I charge, the price is the same. And then I even charge. I I usually work in the price where the actor is doing their own makeup because usually when I'm selling actor, I'm selling a makeup artist with it. So I try to do both. I try to sell a whole polished package. And it's just, I try to make sure that when we sell everything, they have it all listed. So talent is something that I've used a lot. A lot. I want to say 30 to 40% of my shoots last year had talent. So it was a huge and then it's something profit alone, you probably can do 20 to 30,000 a year in additional profit by bringing on talent. So, um another great question. If you're choosing talent that will work for free sometimes, they won't have resumes. How are you choosing at that point? What's a good sign to look for? So they won't, I personally don't care too much for a resume as much as I do a demo reel. They'll probably have a reel and I can look at that reel and kind of make a determination. I don't on paper, I don't too much care what you get. I want to see in paper. I mean, see on film what you're capable of doing more than I want to see what because you could have been on 10 movies and sucked on all 10 movies. I need to look at your face and see if you're convincing. Plus, with like even the most green amateur can perform well in corporate America because that in corporate clients for corporate clients because there's not a wide emotional range. Like either you're the client that's helping somebody or you're the angry customer. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I'm asking you to cry and be in love and all of this stuff on film. Like you're not, it's minimal acting. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of not a lot of range is required to be successful. Where, if I'm casting for a movie, I'm way harder on you than I am to you know, for something like this. Ty, what do you think about pay per clicks? Different topic, but I think it works well when you have the right person doing it. When you don't, it's almost like gambling. Almost like rolling the dice. It can work for a billboard can work for you too, but there's no guarantee that everybody riding down the highway at that time is thinking about content creation or photography. If you just somebody happen to glance up during a time where they have time to write and not die driving, it's a possibility. Tim, I'm sure you got something to jump in on this one.
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so definitely I think that the big thing with pay-per-click is one is it really depends on the market, of course. And I think that the big thing is a lot of people miss the mark, and when they have somebody do a pay-per-click campaign, their ad looks exactly like everyone else's.
Yep.
And to me, like that's really where it ends up falling flat. Is a lot of the times they're just like, to me, I always see it and I always laugh. It's like best videographer in Dallas or whatever, and literally every ad says the exact same thing, and that's why they don't tend to work. You really want to have somebody that understands how to write an actual ad format that's going to actually drive clicks, because without that, it doesn't make a difference. And I think the other big thing is not understanding how competitive those clicks are, right? Because like a law firm, they may be willing to spend $60 per click. And in some markets, like in some video markets, like if you're not willing to spend more than that, it's not going to work for you either.
I think I tell people all the time, those companies like Facebook and Google have worked very hard to make the idea of pay-per-click seem very obtainable, very easy, in an effort to get you to spend money, right? Because there used to be a time where only the professionals could set up ad campaigns. They probably had 10,000 professionals that were certified in the country that were able to set up ad campaigns. And they thought, you know what? If we can make it where everybody can boost a post for $20, we can really quadruple what we can make with this. We can really take this from 100 millions a year to tens of billions. And they've been making it very easy. I'm not going to say dumbing it down, but they've been watering it down, where they still got the advanced part if you are an advanced user. And they've been, making it just super easy for everybody to just hit boosted post and just running. Everybody want to, boost their post now. They don't even think about that's actually pay-per-click. So, and then you get caught up in the idea, like a lot of people don't know the difference between impressions and views. Like you can get a ton of impressions, and nobody's clicking on it. Nobody care about it. And you can get no clicks or no, you know what I mean? And they're just like, well, we got you 1 million. We got it in front of 1 million people. You didn't really blow your $500 like you think you did. You got it in front of 1 million people, so you should be happy. And that's confusing to a lot of people. I know you can talk to that, Tim, too.
Yeah, and I think that the big thing is, and I know like for some of you that we've talked, the big thing is I'm like, one is it does not matter how much money you spend in advertising. If your website doesn't convert or where you're sending people doesn't convert, I can throw hundreds of thousands of dollars, but if I send somebody to a page that loads slow, doesn't give them the information, they can't figure out how to fill out stuff, just not user friendly, it doesn't matter. They're just not going to convert. You're not going to get the leads. You're not going to get the sales. You're not going to get any of that. And that's why, to me, I'm like, really, if you have some traffic, or even if you don't have a lot of traffic, figure out what you can do to get your website converting better, right? Yep. So I like any of you guys that jumped on the live that we did last week, that's what we talked about with like lead magnets and that kind of stuff, is helping you build that kind of ecosystem, and you want to have those things. But yeah, I mean, to me, I'm like, I can throw out a bunch of advertising terms that most people have no idea what they mean. And that's the thing, is like what you were saying is these platforms will always try to dumb it down. And to me, the easy part is clicking the buttons, just like a camera, right? It's pretty easy to turn on a camera and just hit record and to capture something, but to actually understand framing, to understand lighting, it's exactly the same, right? Like understanding what kind of pay-per-click ad is actually going to work best, right? Is that something that's a lead? Is it a call ad? Is it, where you're showing it, keyword? I mean, there's so much to go into that. I think that a lot of people, I definitely think that there's a lot of marketing people out there that are like, oh, it's easy, you just click this button, and then there's like 10,000 people. And I'm like, as somebody that does advertising literally every single day, I'm like, I wish it was that easy sometimes. And I'm like, I think that that's the big thing, is understanding the realities of those. Is there's a lot of moving parts, and sometimes we may just need to tweak one or two things to see the results, and it isn't always just the ad, and it just always isn't the website, and you really have to kind of understand that process.
Yeah. A lot of people, you'd be surprised at just how many people jump into that. That's like, what is a pay-per-click? And then you talk to them a week later and they're like, I set up my campaign. I'm like, you have probably missed a whole lot. It's just difficult to dive into. And it's just rough. Like they make it easy. Boost this post. We'll get it to 10 million people, and you do it. And you're like, what in the world? I got nothing out of it. Or don't let you get like one sale out of it. People are like, it worked. I spent $300, but I sold a $20 item. So I just got to keep spending $300. Like, nah, there's a whole lot wrong with that situation. And again, the most important part of your fishing rod is your hook. I don't care how nice your rod is. I don't care if you got 200-pound weight. I don't care if you got the best bait ever. If they can take that bait off the hook without you, planting the hook, is not, you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. So the hook is important. That's why the website and making sure you convert is very important. And like I said, if there's anything that you should be investing in first, like the most, like if you should go hard for anything, it should be on your website's ability to convert a lead into a client. I can bring you 3 people. If you can convert 2 out of the 3, you're a bad man. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Going real quick. There we go. All right, how's everybody doing?
What's
Good to
going
see
on, bro?
everybody. So I've been following you for a minute, man, and watching, this thing grow and taking advice from everybody out there. I'm transitioning from film into more of a niche of commercial base for businesses, branding, stuff like that. So I've been listening to everything. I was live on the last one, well, not on the last one, where you was telling me how this is going to work better for me. So I'm not shaving it. So
I'm trying to get a few.
I'm probably a little older than a lot of you guys. I'm 48, and I've been in this lane. I jumped out a long time ago. I jumped out back in 2015 with this idea in mind. Everything that you're doing was my idea in mind, right? Sat on a little bit of money. I went and did the dumbest thing ever. Spent tens of thousands of dollars on equipment that I didn't need. Some shit still in the box I ain't used yet. Right?
It'd be like, yep.
I'm gonna use it one day. Though. I'm gonna use it. No. So I learned that mistake, and as I jumped out and I started learning the film business, because I didn't get into it to be in film business. I got into it for a totally different reason. I come from the music industry, and a huge line of sales. I've been selling everything from vacuum cleaners to real estate. So
was it Kirby vacuum cleaners?
Say that again.
Were it Kirby vacuum cleaners?
Oh, Electrolux. Kirby is not a sweeper. Electrolux is the first one, baby. We can talk about that.
I was just curious because I did the door-to-door Kirby thing for a minute. But go ahead, I'll let you finish.
Okay, so I've been in so many different industries: the automobile industry, the wireless industry. I spent 15 years in the wireless industry on the everything from sales, as sales rep, all the way up to district level, corporate leadership and development, teaching people like what you're doing with us. I've done that on a corporate level. I'm applying all of this into this lane that I'm going into and developing the proper product to my clients. And I understand that what I'm doing is, notice that I'm doing a little bit differently than everybody else. I don't want to have to be at their location. I want to be able to create the content for them and send it to them. Like, for instance, how I get a lot of my clients, or the people that I'm beta testing right now, is I went on their website. First off, I look for businesses in a particular industry I wanted to go in. One was like, I went into insurance for equestrian insurance. Like, figure this: if they have horses, they got money, right? So I looked at that industry, and I looked at a lot of the websites, and they were advertising, but they had no video. So I went into their frequently asked questions and came up with a couple of ideas of some information that can be turned into video, because people are going to watch video before they're going to read the frequently asked question they want to answer. Here's the answer in a video format, understanding that that's more engaging. And that got me the work. So I'm not concerned about the clients as me going out and getting them, because I can knock your door. I'll get the client that I want to get. But as far as this website that you're talking about, my brother, I am in a situation where I need to build 2 websites. I got them already built and everything like that, but I want to jump out. And I'm not ready to LLC and everything like that yet, because I want to test some stuff. But in order for me to test it, I know that a business doesn't want to do business with a freelancer. Businesses cut checks to businesses. But do you recommend someone who has and I got all the contracts, got all of the agreements, I've got the idea, I've got the websites talking to the different niches or the different markets. Like, for instance, I know that if I'm going to be talking to medical or legal or dermatologists or something like that, they like to be advertised a different way than somebody like at a dealership or a clothing brand. So one is going to be more visual, one is going to be more dialect. And understanding that, I'm ready to test it out. but I don't want to dump it into the website and LLC because I don't know if I'm going to be still in LA, if I want to take it somewhere else, because this can be done anywhere. Literally, there's too many opportunities with 51 states across the United States. Every state has 100 cities. 100 cities has thousands upon thousands of businesses. I just need 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? That type of concept. But I want to jump out there and I'm like, okay, I know you talked to me before about the website and spending that money on copy. I'm like this, I got some stuff that I wanted to try out. Do you recommend if I fill or give me some information?
Yeah.
Should I go ahead and use like a Squarespace or a Wix or something like that to start out, to test it out, see if I can get this attraction that I'm looking for? Or do you think I'll shoot myself in the foot by doing that and not launching it as an LLC first?
I don't think that you're shooting yourself in the foot without launching it as an LLC. As long as do you have a business license right now of any sort?
No, I'm prepared.
Okay,
but I haven't done that.
I
don't want to go with it yet, you know.
So I would even start a master company, start a master LLC. You can get a DBA later to figure that part out. But you want to make sure that, because if you throw this hook out there with this bait on it and somebody bite and they write you a check that got your company name on it, you're going to be looking at that check and it's going to be real cute in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like you won't be able to go cash it because you don't got a bank account.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you don't want a company to do research on you and there is nothing there. I've had companies, big companies, see when I was establishing things like that. 2, I would say you told me the type of videos you want to do, but narrow down that niche as to who you want to do that for. Like what industry do I want to do that video for? And that will help with a lot.
I put it into this aspect that I use a aspect of the circle of fifths. I want 5 industries. Within those industries, I want 5 different clients. And one of those will be the beta tester out of each one. That's the goal. That's the end goal, to have 5 on 5, spending 5. If I can get 5 companies spending $5,000 a month with me in industries, I can pick and choose whichever one is peaking to put my focus. But the difference is I know that these industries don't speak the same language when I'm advertising to that business. I can't advertise to a dentist the same way I'm going to advertise to a clothing brand. Like one of my clients right now is a clothing brand. It's totally different than the dermatologist that I have. And understanding don't mean to step on your toes. My dermatologist is in Dallas. Okay, it's one of the biggest out there. My biggest client in data. You know what I'm saying? So saying that it can be done anywhere is really key. Don't think you guys, it's not enough out here. It's plenty. It's way tight. I said it plenty of times. There's way more than enough out here for everybody. You just got to find yours. I've decided on those industries, and it's really talking to them in that way that I need to talk, or the way they need to hear me, and getting in front of the ones that are already looking for me. Getting in front of the ones that are spending the ad money already, but don't have video. Getting in front of them to get them to the website. I can go any business I want. I can knock that door. I'll get it because of the way that I do it. I'm not going to come asking.
But this is what you got to be careful of.
I shoot for you. Yeah.
This is the only part you got to.
Say that again.
This is the part that you got to be careful with, because your ability to work with everybody is completely different than your ability to be successful and work for everybody. I tell people all the time, Coca-Cola started off with just Coca-Cola. They got 50 companies now and 50 lanes that's making 50, but they started with just Coca-Cola, not even Diet Coke, not even vanilla Coke. I will pick one, because having to advertise and it's hard to advertise for one niche, especially if you're talking about going national. You talking about going everywhere. It's hard to lock down just your zip code in one of those areas unless you got hundreds of thousands. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I would focus on, okay, let me look at this one sector of the industry and this one type of client, and let me go after them. Then if I get money back and that works out, then I'll go in this, I'll branch it and feed something different. But let me master this one first. That way, every ounce and every move you make will get you further in that direction. Or copywriting the website will get you further in that direction. And I'm not, and don't get me wrong, the hardest part for me was to realize, yeah, I can do all of that. I can do it. It's easy for me. But it's so much harder for me to bring clients in when I'm showing them everything. You know what I'm saying? My ability to do it is there, and I know it. And I feel like I'm gonna get cash from all of these areas because it's low-hanging fruit. But it's so hard to convince a client that you are the go-to expensive guy when they see everything. It just scares people off. So you got to be really careful from what you know you can do compared to what you should be doing or how you appear to a client. Just like if you went to go buy anything, if you needed somebody to come and lay carpet in your house right now, if you met a guy that's like, all we do is lay carpet, we lay the best carpet, our price is a little bit up here. Or you met a guy that do everything. I do carpet, I wax cars, I clean your dog, I fix your roof. You like, I don't know about you, bro. Like, I don't know that you are the expert go-to king of this carpet stuff. I'm gonna go over here to my mans who only saying we do carpet all day, every day. We the best at it. I'm gonna pay him a little more because you probably did drywall the week before that. You probably washed the dog the week before that. I don't feel like you doing this. You ain't about this life every day. And I want to spend my money with somebody who do this and they're a beast at this. Now, once you get in the door, the guy who laid the carpet may say, hey, you want to get some wood in the living room? You want to get, some vinyl in the kitchen? You want to get some wallpaper? Once you get in the door, yeah, the sky's the limit. But I hired him specifically because he was the best at carpet. And that's what when I just need carpet, that's what I want. Now, because he's the best, is if he refer me to anything else, I'm a trust him. Just like your mechanic on your car. When you bring your car in and they're fixing your car, they say, hey man, you got a bad hose. If they mechanics, you're gonna trust them. You're gonna be like, all right, well, just throw that on too. I'll pay the extra money. So the hardest part about I'm gonna be real with you. The level at which I started to see growth was when I stopped trying to do so much, even though I knew I could. You know what I'm saying? I knew I could do it. I knew I deserved to get it. It's easy. I can just, it's a, you know what I'm saying? It's a layup. But sometimes, you gotta, what made my business grow was me saying, okay, what is one thing I can do for one type of person? And then keep finding that ideal client until it started coming to me. And that's when I started seeing traction. That's when it started growing. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be really 100 with you. Where my business is now is not where I planned it to go. You may choose a niche, right? And it may lead you to something different, and you like, I never even thought about this. And it may be somewhere that was never even on your radar. You never even mapped it out, and you may be in a place where you were making good money doing something you had no idea it was even a market for. But you can't learn that if you everywhere.
That happened.
Yeah. I see a lot of people when they like, man,
see that happened.
This. Yeah, it's crazy. But if you everywhere, it's just
that happened for me.
What do you say?
I was actually on set I was just as an AC, right? This is when I first jumped into it. The only reason they called me on is because I had all this gear, right? I had all of this stuff. So they were like, well, bring some of that. And you come on set and didn't know what I was doing, but I went in and I made a few adjustments in an area where I was like, saw a little bit of a friction with DP and the director on this particular shot. I just went over and moved the camera around a little bit and refocused, and they were like, that's the shot. 2 days later, I was the DP on the rest of that shoot. You know what I mean? And I went into this not thinking about, oh, I'm gonna make a whole lot of money. I was trying to shoot music videos for artists that I was developing. And when did a couple of these actually paid for the equipment that I just spent all this money on, just being on these sets, I was like, okay, this is where I'm changing. I'm going into film. But then I'm like, I don't want to be a filmmaker. I want to do something creative. And that's where I came up with the idea to shoot these commercials. But this was back in 2015. I looked at it as, what I had in the bank, I looked at it as that's all I had versus that's what I had. And I panicked, went back into corporate. First is taking that money here back then. So I'm kind of catching up. You know what I mean?
That's fine. That I can tell you, just if you just look at me, my journey on YouTube didn't start as Flash Film Academy. It wasn't even a thought like 3 years ago. I just didn't. I was going to talk about gear like everybody else, and then I started getting comments like, "You say you use this on the job. Tell us about that job." I'm like, "Y'all care about that? Okay, let's talk about it." You know, I'm thinking everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking all the YouTubers are doing it, but the more I started talking to people and they're like, "That's what we want to hear about," I started going in that direction, and then I just closed it off and was like, "I'm just going to focus on business." You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm gonna focus on because I've met a lane of people who this talks to, who I can, you know, who can relate with some of the. I thought nobody cared about how I price clients. I didn't think nobody cared about how I came up with contracts. I didn't think nobody cared about how I had to focus on my website to make conversions. I didn't think nobody cared about that. I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't. It was people telling me like, "Yo, like we want to know, we want to learn about this." Nobody's talking about that, and that's when I developed. You know, Flash. If you go back and look at all my videos, they're Flash Film Media, and then I changed it over to Flash Film Academy and started on that. So
I've seen it all. I've been watching all of it.
Yeah, it took me locking down one thing to let it flourish into what I have now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just continuing to invest in it, continuing to go down that path. So, you know, it's even changed the gear that I bought because now I'm, you know, you just make changes based off on it. Tim, I know you had something that you were going to jump in a little while back. I meant to get you in.
Yeah, no worries. The big thing that I would say is, and you kind of touched on it, is one is in my opinion, I think that you just start the LLC, even if you just have it doesn't really matter what the name of the LLC is because you can always create a DBA. And that's actually something that like we do. We have multiple LLCs. And what we'll do is we'll have essentially almost like a generic kind of LLC. And if we want to start maybe a new business, we want to start a new venture, we want to do any of that, we'll start it as a DBA. And then if it continues to grow into something else, something bigger, we'll actually move that under a proper LLC. And this is something that a lot of real estate people do. Like anytime you buy a house, you put that in an LLC. That way, any of the repairs that you do all that kind of same stuff. So that's what I would say is, even if you just get one, you can always start there, and then you can essentially change them out as you need to go. That's really the big thing, and kind of like what Ty was saying is, it's really to go with I think that the best thing to do is whatever is the easiest for you to create the website, do that kind of stuff. That's what you start with because it's all right. It's beta testing, it's testing an idea, it's testing a new product into the market, that kind of stuff. And to me, I'm like for us, like we build all of our stuff in WordPress. That's just because we've been doing it for a really long time. That's what we're most comfortable with, but build it. And the big thing is, I would say don't spend an enormous amount of time. You want to have essentially what is that minimum effectiveness to get it and test it in the market, but don't just slap something together, not worry about what the copy says, not worry about the design, because that's where a lot of people fail is they're like, I want to test this and get it out to the market. And they have something that's like a car with only 2 wheels on it. And then they wonder why it doesn't work. And it's like, you need to have at least 3 wheels, even if they're wooden wheels and they can get you going. That's better than having only 2 wheels. You want to make sure that you have something that is good enough to get going, and then you can continue to iterate. Because I think that that's a big thing. And I think out of all of the websites that we do audits on, and like I said, that's one of the things that we do consulting on, I think the 2 things that I see are bad copy is just not clear. And really the other thing is you don't have some kind of a good mechanism to essentially capture that lead. And my thing is, I'm like, you need to try everything possible to get somebody to, like I said, sign up on an email list, do something so that you can continuously show up on that person. And you, as somebody that comes from sales, you know how important follow-up is, right? Like, just because I talk to somebody today and they're not ready to move forward, right? You don't know what's going on in their life. Their dog could have died, and they could be, it could be the worst day of their life. And what you have may actually be something they want. They're just not in the right frame of mind. But if you go to them and you're just like, whatever, and you never follow back up, that could be a potential sale that you missed, right? And maybe you need to follow up with them 2, 3, 4 times. And I know, whatever the average is that people say, which is 7 times. I don't know how correct that is. I don't even know what the data is behind that, but that's what they say, right? You got to be in front of somebody at least 7 times before they actually make that decision. And I think that those are really the big 2 things that I see from websites all the time, is, like I said, bad copy, and you're not, and really the thing is, your copy is convincing people why they need to take the next step. And I think also that people kind of get those a little mixed up. I think that everybody just thinks that it just needs to sell them right away. And I'm like, if you've ever bought a house, you don't go to, Zillow and be like, buy now. I want to buy this $50,000 house. I don't want to talk to anyone. I think a lot of people have that mentality, and I'm like, everything needs to be, what is the next step in that sales process, And like I said, you know this, right? You've done a lot of sales. It's like, it could be getting the meeting, seeing if it's a good fit, and right, it could take 20 steps before you get to the sale. A lot of people want to go from 0 to 100 in like 5 seconds, and I'm like, it doesn't work. Like, if you're selling something that's just, and I don't want to say cheap, because people also don't buy things that are cheap sometimes too, right? Right, buying a pack of gum, you don't need to spend 12 days thinking about buying a pack of gum, right? But if I'm gonna hire you to do a project for $5,000, I'm probably gonna take longer than it takes to buy a pack of gum.
Right? It's not an instant, quick decision. It just takes time.
Right.
I got to get to know you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I totally agree with that. And it's just, like you were saying, it's just sales, man. But it's, again, that's harder to do when you're trying to do it for 10 different type of clients. You know what I'm saying? It's unless you got, if you're starting a new company and you're branching off from GE, and you got a $60 million budget, and you can do that easily. But when it's just you, and every move you make got to work for you, it's either taking you closer or bringing you back further. It's a lot easier when you focus in on one. Real quick, I'm getting hit with some crazy weather, so if I go out, y'all know what's going on. If you're in that area, you're probably getting hit by a storm too. But we're gonna keep rocking until the lights go out. So and that was the hardest part for me, was knowing I had all this gear. I know how to do all kind of stuff, but and I wanted to do it for everybody. I had to wheel it in and focus on one type of product for one type of client. If you got to break it down like that, I started off just worrying about corporate event photography for any award-based ceremony, anything that has a stage, a presenter. Those were the clients we wanted. So conferences, things like that. So just to give you, sometimes that's really what it is, to give you the best. That's the best advice I got, because I was just like you. Like, I'm trying to knock it all out the park, man. I'm trying to do it all. I'm trying to get every bag. But when I focused on this one type of client, I was able to consistently close on bigger bags from one type of client over and over. And it was just easy, because I can almost repeat myself over and over again to to talk to a client, and I just knew what they were going to say. So that's what I would focus on mostly. Just want to make sure. Go ahead, Tim.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem, bro. All day.
Yeah, and one thing that really, I guess, like, stuck with me and really resonated with me, and I can't remember who I learned this from, but essentially, right, like you were saying, like 5 industries, that kind of thing. I had somebody tell me once, like, okay, like, if that's the case, let's say that each one of those industries, it took you 5 years to get to where you wanted to go in that industry. Now, if you're working on every one of those every other day, it's going to take you way longer. It's going to take you 5 times as long to get proficient at just one of those industries than if you just focused on that one, right? Because if you had to work for 5 years straight in one industry, it's only going to take you 5 years to become the best at that. Where if you're going after 5 all at the same time, you know, that's going to take you way longer. So that's really the big thing. That, like I said, that it kind of reminds me of is you kind of want to do that, right? Because it's like, you know, if you could only give everything, you know, 100% every single day, but you're giving, you know, whatever, I don't even know, you know, 10% on this, 10% here, and here, you're not going to see those results that you want instead of just doubling down and focusing on one single thing.
Even like an example I really love to use is mechanic shops, right? Like there's a huge difference between a regular mechanic shop and a transmission shop. There's a huge difference between a transmission shop and like a high-end, like one that just deal with muscle cars and, you know, adding superchargers and like it's just even though somebody can say I'm a mechanic, it's just completely like their market is completely different. Like AutoZone versus like a Summit Racing. Like Summit Racing go after people who want to change out parts that's not broken, who want to add performance, and AutoZone want to go after people who got a certain car of a certain year that may be breaking down or, you know, doing maintenance. So even though they're the same, they're completely different. And just their site is completely different. The way they present themselves is completely different. Their storefronts is completely different, and they both sell car parts. You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird how drastically different they are to almost be the same, but their market, their target audience is completely different, even though they're selling the same things pretty much. You know, Summit Racing will just have more high-end stuff, but you know, they don't cross each other's lane, you know, because it's just a whole lot more money to go into that lane and do all of that. So it's just, you know, it's just rough. Go ahead, bro.
I want to say something on that. See, that's where my listening to you and how you express, I'm not telling you what to do, I'm giving you another way to think about things. So in that aspect, you have AutoZone and who you said O'Reilly's.
Yeah.
They do the exact same thing, right?
Yeah.
But they have different target audiences. I want to be the guy that owns I have AutoZone, I've got this, I got to talk to these people this way, I got to talk to these people this way, but it's all the same thing on the inside, you know. So that's that mindset that I with thinking in the way I'm setting it up, because I know that these industries that I'm in, and the only reason I did that with the 5 is because the rule of 5 thing that I you know, a while back, but I had an in with 5 different businesses that just so happen to be in 5 different industries. So me doing the beta with trying to give me how I can refine this product to match all of them, but I need to talk to get them on. You know what I mean? If that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you where the problem with that is, though, where you're gonna run into it. See, you're looking at it as different, as if the issue is the hard part is what's gonna happen behind the scenes. You're like, we got that. We can cover it for all of y'all. That's not the hard part. That's not where you're gonna run into the problem. The problem is trying to appeal to all of them at the same time, right? So let me give you an example of a company that gets this well. GM know I can't sell a $20,000 Cruise and then sell a car that's on the level of a Cadillac under the same brand name. So they've created multiple brands for multiple people, because most of the parts, the screw to hold down the seats are probably the same throughout all of their lineup. The hardest problem is trying to convince people to spend $80,000 for the same car that got the same sticker as a $20,000 car. They can't do that. So what they did was created Cadillac, and then they created Chevrolet. Same assembly line, same designers, same everything. And because in-house is easy. That's not the hard part. The hard part is trying to convince the buyer that this is quality and this is, you know what I'm saying? To convince 5 different buyers. So they have 5 different brands. Now, as a company that's just you starting up, it's extremely hard to create 5 different brands initially. Not saying in the long run, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, y'all doing 800,000 in sales. Yeah, you can dump another 200,000 over here. It's just extremely hard to do that. That's why most of the companies that are under the GM umbrella started as their own brand and then were purchased by GM. Hey, we like what y'all doing over here, Cadillac. We're gonna buy y'all. You know, we can make it easier. Y'all already got your audience. Y'all doing your own thing. Y'all appeal to your own type of people. We can create more profit by using the same bolts we use on this Impala, on this Cadillac. Don't nobody got to know. You keep doing your thing, and they buy pieces. It's very difficult to start off that way. You know what I'm saying? It's very difficult to start there. Start with just your one Model T. Start with that one car, and then just grow from there. And try to get that car in front of the right client that want to buy that car. Then when you blow up, you can go buy Cadillac later. And if you notice, all of the car brands are like that. You got Nissan and Acura, you got Toyota and Lexus. Toyota had Toyota, Lexus, and Scion for the younger group, Lexus for the older group, Toyota for the middle, and they kind of was like, okay, people think Toyota cool, we can get rid of Scion and just do Toyota until we get up to Lexus. Most brands, Hyundai got Genesis. Like most brands have multiple levels because they know that they just can't. It's so difficult to get their brand to appeal to everybody. So they have segmented it, but they all start. Honda started with Honda, then they came out with, you know, I think they got, is Nissan Acura? Which one is Acura? Honda got Lexus or one of them, but they started.
Honda.
Huh?
Acura's Honda.
Acura. Okay, yeah. So they started, you know, with just their Honda, and then they came out with different brands. So just focus on your Honda Accord. Make the dopest Honda Accord you can make. Then move to different ones. But just, you know, the best thing you can do for success, the fastest, is creating the best Honda Accord you can, and then go from there. Create it. Go for it, bro.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Gives me a whole lot.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
All day, bro. All day. It's good. You going in and out, Ronnie. I just want to make sure you still connected, because it was like going. Maybe it could be me. I'm in the storm, but I hear you. Create it. Go for it, bro.
All right. I hope everybody's doing good. I just have like this. I don't know if it's a question or concern, or maybe I should just like. But I just want to see everybody's advice as far as like, do you guys think? Because I'm still working on building the website. I already have the domain. I already have the LLC, and I'm kind of just taking like the steps, like, you know, pivot everything that I did before and pivot everything to the right direction as far as what module 1 is, you know, saying, and just taking it step by step. But I personally think that it's taking a little too long as far as to like present a website with the proper demo reel, because I have, you know, I bought the you know, the how to build the demo reel. So I'm kind of taking also those steps into consideration. And but do you guys still believe I should just create the website, just even with, because I was able to save money for good copyright. Like right now I have, you know, a good amount of money that I can spend a proper copyright for the website. But you guys think I should just create the website and then just sell it with proper copyright and just pictures for now?
I personally think so. Yeah, I think a demo reel is going to put it over the top, but great copy explaining what you do, behind the scenes images will get some traction. Okay. Tim can probably even speak to some. Maybe there's industries where copywriting images outweigh a demo reel, especially if you're in photography. What do you got to say to that, Tim?
Yeah, the big thing is like, one, video does really well, but the thing is I think, at least what I see, is a lot of people want to wait till they have everything to get a website. In my opinion, the website is really never finished. It's something that you're always going to be doing, you're always going to be tweaking. You should always kind of somewhat be testing, doing certain things, and not just like testing out the copy. Like sometimes you need to test, like if you start getting a lot more traffic, you're going to have to start testing what's the speed times, right? What are all those things? Because you can have the best copy, but like if I sent you 100,000 people to your website, it'll crash and nobody will see it. That doesn't matter, right? So that's the big thing. I think that the best thing is getting something is better than nothing. Like to me, if somebody doesn't even have a website, I don't really think that they're a real business. Yep. And if you just send me to a Facebook page or an Instagram page and that's your website, I'm like, you're not a real business. Like to me, it's really a staple in like, are you doing what you need to do, right? And with that, I mean, I think that you need to have something that looks decent. Don't have something that looks like from 995 that is like weird, because I'm always shocked that there's still websites out there like that from businesses that I'm like, I don't even know what this is. It's like a weird like PDF implanted document. I don't know what it is, but that's a big thing. Is like having something is better than nothing. I would say with the copywriting, the big thing, in my opinion, whoever you decide to go with, I would, for the money, I would try to get 2 headlines, 2 midlines, and like whatever, like some main copy. I would try to get doubles. That way you can start A/B testing off the bat. Because I think that the big thing is a lot of people will just buy copy and they're like, I bought copy, it's done, I never have to do it again. That's not the case, because like I said, I mean, even if you look at the pandemic, the things that people were talking about before the pandemic are way different than what they're talking about now. And I mean, even like where I am currently, like in certain industries, they're talking about stuff that is stuff that they've never talked about. So that's like your copy's always going to have to evolve. It's always going to have to address the new pain points, the new issues, the new solutions to those things. So that's really my big thing with that. And, you know, there's a lot of things. I mean, like I said, I can talk forever. Any of you guys that have been on one of the website consultations and that stuff, like I said, we literally go through so much. I actually did one earlier today. So like I said, I can talk for literal hours just on website in general. So
I want to say this.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I want to say this real quick, and then I'm gonna go to you, Michael. I'll see you with your hand up. I'll say this real quick. Building your business, right? It's like a race car. And if you ever built a race car, right? You add pieces, you swap pieces, you check your time, you swap a piece, you check your time, you swap a piece, you get it tuned, you check your time. You're always trying to get faster and faster. You're always trying to. Sometimes you're changing tires to get more traction. Sometimes you're doing things to get more power to the ground. It's not just about adding horsepower, but sometimes you're getting rid of weight, right? You're getting lighter so that you can get faster, and you're always making changes to it. You know, you may try this different gas versus that different gas. You may try this different exhaust versus that different exhaust. So you're always trying to do things, whether it be add or subtract from it, get faster, right? To get better close rates, to be more successful. So think of your business that way, in a way of, you know, I got to add a piece to it, or maybe remove a piece, or tweak a piece, or improve a piece, so that I can get, you know, faster times, less drag, and more speed. So just look at it like that. Like, you know, it's different than being on the sideline without a race car, or you just buying tires and your car can't even move. You want to at least have a car, whether it's a Honda Civic we're trying to get fast, or a Corvette. It's best to have something that can go down the track, and we can we can tweak it from there. But not having a website up, not having a demo reel, is literally on the side with a car, and you holding the muffler saying, you know, when I get this muffler on and I put this on, maybe one day it'll, you know, I can do this, that, and the other. Get something in the race, and then build on it from there.
Okay. Yeah, because I definitely have like I've got my first I got the testimonial, and you know, I can put like a picture in the actual testimonial once edited, and then I got pictures of me working, and then pictures of projects, and then I don't know, maybe fill it up with like stock footage or somehow. But definitely, I know definitely I'm gonna have to buy copy because my grammar sucks. Like I'm not even gonna play with that
Mine
because I
too.
know because like now I have like this 1,000 like 1 hour. They're like when I bought the thousand cards, like I showed it to a couple people, and then I'm like, tell me what you think about it. Like, but I already had them out there right here. I think I got like 700 left, but like they're not properly grammar, and that's something that I did that I came up, and I'm like, well, good thing it was like less than this much, but it didn't hurt the pocket at the moment. But like now I'm like copy, especially like everything that I'm like consuming and stuff like that, as far as like the knowledge, copy is super important. And
Extremely
I
important.
know that I suck. Like I completely suck. And sometimes you guys may even see it in the group that I post on, and it's like, what is Mario typing over there? Like
I mean,
what is he
usually
doing?
when your creative side is your strong side, sometimes I gravitated more towards my camera than I did straight up writing. I was a computer guy because my handwriting was terrible. I love Microsoft Word. I had the big spell checker and everything.
And then just real quick for Tim, what do you think about tomorrow I'm getting this book. Any comment on that book?
Misfit marketing for restaurants.
I haven't read it, so I can't say if it's good, bad, whatever. I mean, in my opinion, I think that everything that is out there, you should be able to extract some kind of information from it. If you look at something, read something, and you're just like, I feel like you didn't really put forth the effort to find those things, to extract as much as possible. In any of that information, like I said, I can't speak to it. Like I said, I haven't read it. But the one question, I wasn't gonna essentially release this yet. I was kind of waiting, but since you kind of asked, and I've had quite a few people asking, would you guys find it valuable? We put together, essentially, it's a PDF document. It's called the 13 of a high converting website. Would that be something you guys are interested in? Like I said, we're still working on some of the email follow-up and that stuff, so you guys won't get it yet. But is that something that you guys would be interested in? If so, let me know and I can drop it in the chat.
Oh, Tim, is that a serious question? Come on, man. I mean, come on. Are you being serious today?
I don't know. I
we
mean,
don't want to hear all the good stuff you got for us, Tim. No, never.
I mean,
never.
maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, the crazy guy over here.
Thank you, Ty. Thank you. I mean, I was asking us, do you guys want to breathe? Do you want to make money? I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I personally would I personally look into it because like if I see like everything that I have learned so far here in Flash Film and with the courses and with the things that everything that Ties promotes, right, to bring valuable knowledge and to create and to build up on things, I have definitely went my way to like save or make that extra money to get that product. You know what I mean? So if you are going to be able to create something like that, that is something that I would definitely look into, and then see if I'm going to put my money in it, and then take it to like the next step as far as to hire the people that I need to hire to create that website. I know for sure I'm getting the copyright, but that'll be dope, man. Hell yeah.
No, we definitely need something like that, Tim, because I was the one that asked about the pay-per-clicks.
Yeah, I just posted it in the YouTube chat. I don't think it's come through on here. I'll post it also in this private chat.
Yeah.
Like I said, you literally just go.
Post it now.
Yeah. So there it is in the private chat. Like I said, I did post it in the YouTube chat.
It may kick out links. I think it kick out when people post links other than me. I forgot.
Oh, well, there you go. Anyway, like I said, there it is. It's literally the 13 things that we look at pretty much every single time. These are the things that, like I said, pretty much I recommend to every single person. Implement the things. Like I said, there's a whole document It's a download. If you guys have any issues, and I can make sure to get it to you guys.
Michael, I think you had a question. It was a while ago.
Yeah, it's going back to what you guys said before. It goes to what Created said. I'm at his boat right now. I have a website. I have a copy. I have built, but it's password protected because I feel I don't have like I discussed before. My niche is not fully down, so I don't have a demo reel. So going back, what Tim said is, I feel like I'm rolling down the street with a 2-wheel car. So I haven't put anything out.
Yeah.
So my question to you is same thing Created is, should I just put it out? You guys are saying I should just put it out there. My copies is so broad, it's not niche down. So I'm still at the beta stage, trying to get beta to find my niche. So
I mean,
you guys say start something, but you tell me hold off. So I'm confused a little bit.
This is the thing, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be really, 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 really real with you, and this go for everybody. You have to determine who your audience is first. That's something that got to come from you. You got to say, I'm working with this type of client. If you're, and I'm gonna be real with you, I'm just gonna lay it out for everybody. If your mentality is, oh, we'll see what works, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. You have to go into it knowing this is what I'm focused on. Now, if I focus on that one and I give that 100%, it's either going to not work and bloom into something else, or it's going to work. So you gotta don't. There was a saying that says either life is going to happen to you or you're going to happen to life. You have to make the decision on this is the type of client I'm going to work with. And be careful not to say, well, I'm going to try to work with everybody and whatever I like the most. That's literally saying I'm going to walk in the club and I'm going to get every girl in here number, and whoever I talk to the longest, I'm going to marry. Nope. You got to walk in knowing exactly what you want and go after that. Because when you don't know what you want, you never give it 100%. You just kind of half-ass it until somebody give you more back than you put into it. You water in every plant, and whatever plant grow the fastest is the one I'm gonna love and nurture. You got to go in specifically and be as direct as possible. That's a decision that you have to make, that you have to live with, that you have to grow on and build on. You cannot let the world make that decision for you. And a lot of people get caught there, even in life, just determining what do they want to be when they grow up. I know 30 and 40-year-olds that still like, I don't know. I'm just going to see how this job works, and I'm going to see how, and you wake up 30 years from now, you just got job after job after job, and you haven't picked a career. So you got to be more like, this is what I'm going after. Because the reason you may not get traction is because you haven't made that decision and you're not appealing to nobody. Instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to make all my decisions as if I'm going after this type of client. Now my color scheme, my business name, everything is in line with going after this type of client. So if it don't work, you know why it don't work. It ain't got to do with your presentation, your presence. It could have been your presentation. It could have been your lack of knowledge. It could have been, but if you're designed to go after this type of client, it's so much easier to figure out what the problems are than if you're trying to get everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just hard to do. And that's why you got to lock it in and say, okay, this is what I'm going after. Because then I can look at it and say, okay, let's see what you're doing. Oh, you got to fix this. Oh, you got to fix that. But if that client look at you and what you have, don't talk to them directly, it can be a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? It can be all over. It can literally be all over the place. But if you decide to be a basketball player and then you suck at basketball, I can coach you to be a better basketball player. I can't coach you if you come to the gym with everything, a soccer ball under this arm, a baseball bat, and you like, yo, coach, I'm not winning. Well, it's hard for me to give you a game plan or to even give you plays or coach you if I don't even know which sport you play. So that's something you got to say, okay, this is what I'm doing. My bad. I know we got a few questions. Who's first? That guy? Y'all pointing to each other. Boom, you on the screen first. Go for it, bro.
Fine. I was gonna let Tim go first. well, actually, this might be better because it's hard to follow up with him, man. He's just too good. So just my 2 cents on this. And I always guess I would say this is for, not necessarily creative, but I think more so Michael, based on what you were saying, but I mean, for anybody, because I've had the hangups in the past, and every now and then they kind of come back up again about wanting to make sure everything is perfect, making sure everything is right, making sure all my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed. And, I want to make sure that, I get the my most ideal dream client. And in order to do that, man, I got to make sure that everything is right and it's golden. But here's the thing, is that done is better than perfect. And I would encourage you, just like, scrap the password protected stuff, or just get the website out there. If you at least know the niche that you're going after, like Ty was saying, if you know at least you want to play basketball, don't sit here and keep on reading book after book after book after book and watching video tutorials and doing all this and all that and drawing up game plans or whatever in the room and trying to figure out what defense to run or whatever and what offense to run and, am I doing a full court press or whatever. That's okay, but at some point you need to get your butt on the court and actually put it into action. Because the only way you're going to know whether or not that technique works and that the way that you do that layup is going to work or the way you do that jump shot is going to work and whether or not your form is right is that you got to actually do it. You actually got to take the shot. You got to run the layup. You got to run the plays. And been there. And I understand where you're coming from, man. And whether it's self-induced, hangups, like, I don't know if it's good enough. I'm worried about the judgment. I'm worried about people's feedback and how they're going to perceive me and they might not take me seriously. Dude, that's the only way it's going to work, is that you got to fail forward.
Yep.
Because you're going to learn, like, oh, wait, crap, that didn't work. No,
yep.
that didn't work.
You're going to take L's. But
it's going to happen.
You'll have gameplay to look at and be like, okay.
We're all in agreement. I will take L's. My thing is, it's not, to me, it's not done because I have nothing to show, but I have copy, but it's very broad. Like, remember, like, I become so broad. I basically, I'll be frank with you, Ty, is basically, I want to do corporate brand videos. I really like doing that. I really want to do that. But like you said, I'm just like level 1. I haven't niched down to level 2, 3 yet because I'm not there. And the copy's not saying that, and there's no demo reel regarding say. So I feel it's still a two-wheeled car.
So this is what you got to think of. There's not a beta client or anybody outside of your house that's going to get you there. That's a decision that you have to make. You got to say, I'm going to do this layer down. It's not going to come. That's not going to come with experience.
Well,
that's just going to come with you doing it over and over and over and over. You're just being lost. Finding your path don't come with just being lost. It come with you deciding, okay, this is the route I'm going to take. I'm going to follow this path and then I'm going to go this way. And if that's wrong, then I'll re-navigate from there. But I got to follow one of these forks in the road to get there. You know what I mean? You can't take 10 steps up one and come back and then take 10 steps up the other and then come back. And you got to say, I'm going to stick to this lane and it's the lane I'm going to take. And then you'll create what's called measurables, right? Things that we can measure to see why you aren't being successful. And then we can make those changes. Without those measurables, I can't, it's kind of like you being lost on a map and you can't give me anything around you. I'm by a tree and I can't help you because I don't know what path you've taken to give you the directions. I don't know that you by mile marker 220. That's Rolling Thunder rolling through here real good. I can't look at where you are on the map to help you get further because you never picked a path that gives yourself and the people around you things to measure. Right. One of the things, and I'm gonna let Tim jump in because I know you've been waiting, and he'll tell you one of the most important, almost maybe even the most important, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, I'll let him talk, part about marketing is the analytics, to look at what's stuck on a wall, like to look at what, this is what we did. Now let's look at how it's affected people, like what we were able to do with this. Now let's make adjustments. It's not about a one hit, boom, you successful. It's about a bunch of little changes when you have measurables to look at and measure. If you don't pick a path, there is no measurables, right? You got to pick you got to make the determination that this is what I like. Don't wait for people to give you money. Don't have people say you good at this. No. What do you got to say, Michael, I want to do corporate videos of this flavor for this type of client, and then lock in on that. So that we can measure. Now we can go say, well, while now I can hear your pitch and then understand who your target audience and say, okay, well, we need to tweak this, because a pitch that's perfect for a dentist will not work on an orthodontist. A pitch that is perfect for an orthodontist won't work on a hygienist, and they all could be working in the same building looking at you crazy when you just switch it. You know what I'm saying? Just like something that's appealing to a 15-year-old is not appealing to a 20-year-old, and it's just a 5-year gap. It may not even be appealing to a 17-year-old that's right in the middle. It's completely different. Your 15-year-old will wear Skechers. Your 18-year-old wouldn't get caught dead in some Skechers. So it's just little stuff like that once you decide and lock down the measurables, you'll have the ability to see where you're failing at, make the changes, and get progress. That is the one thing. If you focused on one thing that's causing you to not get the traction you want, I think that is the one thing that needs attention to be like, okay, I gotta look in the mirror and I gotta lock this down. My bad, Tim. I know you wanted to jump in. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no worries. My big thing is, one is, like you said, even if you are driving that two-wheeled car, to me, what I would say is, how many other companies in your area are also driving that two-wheeled car, right? They all have their websites out. They have that stuff. To me, I'm like, that's just getting you to the starting line. Now, of course, you want to make sure that you're putting the extra wheels on, you're doing that stuff, and that comes down with niching down. And I think the big thing is, like what Ty was saying, is you want to focus on that path. And to me, the only time that you should consider veering and literally chopping back, I think just chopping your own path to get to the next path, is when you have really worked with, I would say, probably 10 of those clients. And if you just don't like that industry, like there are certain industries that I just do not like, but I can't base that off of one client. I can't base that off of two clients. After I've worked with a handful of them and I feel like these are the problems that I don't like, then I think it's okay to say, okay, we're still corporate. We don't want to do, this type of event. Like, we don't want to do holiday parties. We want to do award ceremonies is what we want to do, right? Then I think you can transition, and it makes it easier, because a lot of this that you did for the holiday parties and stuff, you can probably somewhat use for the other award ceremonies, because they're just similar enough that it makes that transition a little bit easier. And now you're not starting your website from 100% zero. But to me, I'm like, right, like even if I was looking to hire somebody and the guy with a car with two wheels is there, have a car, I'm still going to go with the guy that only has a car with two wheels, right? Yeah. Like, that's going to be a lot more comfortable to a degree than having to walk, right? So that's the thing, is it's all right. I understand though, like, I want everything to be perfect. I want to be that whole thing, but sometimes you just gotta like get going, and then like as I kind of think of it like the lane, right? Whenever they're driving and they're pulling parts as they need, and they're changing and they're adapting as they're going. They're not trying to build the perfect car to get through where they need to go, right? And that's kind of how this process works. You gotta just start going, and then you pull the pieces as you need them. You get rid of stuff you don't need, and you kind of have to build it as you go. And that's the whole thing, is why what I tell a lot of people is, I'm like, if you are not comfortable with change and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be very difficult for you in business, because business is consistently changing. Like I said, I mean, even things that we were doing a month ago, there are certain things that we're not doing anymore, because like what Ty said, is you test stuff, you look at it, you evaluate the analytics, and if you say like, this thing is just not where it needs to be, let's get rid of it, and now take those resources, whether it's time, money, energy, and put them into the thing that's working and grow that as much as possible. And then it has a trickling effect. It's never just put all the things into this and it's going to work out. Like, I wish I could say that it was easy that way, but unfortunately it's just not.
But and I think the biggest part of that is just you deciding, okay, this is my point of entry. I want to work with this type of person, and then build everything to go after it. Build everything to go after it. You know what I mean? Because if you make the decision to go in that area, and let's say you just pay for your copy to get written, and you got a few pictures, right? Let's say you got 2 wheels on the car. You still beating out the guys with 1 wheel. You still beating out the guys that's Chevrolet, shove 1 foot and lay another. That's walking. A guy in a raggedy car can still pull your girl you standing next to her at a bus stop any day. His car can be. If you at the bus stop with your girl and she looking at you and looking at him, and he in that hoopty, she gonna consider getting in that car than waiting in the cold. You ain't got to be a Cadillac to pull your girl from the bus stop. He can be. He gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then he may be pumping gas, and then a better car roll up, you know, a Chevy Caprice roll up, and you looking like, oh man, here she go. And she jump in the Chevy Caprice, and then the Escalade roll. So, you know, you ain't got to jump in it. You ain't got to be at the bus stop and go straight to the Escalade. You may go to the, you know what I'm saying? You may go to some old school. You may have to, you know, but you riding. You've been in this, you've been young, and your friend get a car, and it's a hoopty, it's a old deuce and a quarter or something, and y'all just riding. You don't even care. You in the minivan, y'all just happy to not be walking. Your business works that way as well. You know, everybody, you may feel like at the bus stop, it seems like everybody got nice cars, everybody riding. But the truth is, some guys got hoopties with duct tape on the windows, but they getting there. You know what I'm saying? Some guys got, you know, they got hoopties, man, but they ain't at the bus stop. They still can come get your girl from you. Cause
Ty was coming for me because I just got off my 1 wheel. Y'all talking about 1 wheel dudes out here, man. Come on. Like, I was on 1 wheel just now.
You out of
1 wheel. It's literally called 1 Wheel by Future Motion, onewheel.com.
Oh, I'm gonna look that up.
I seen those.
Look that up.
I'm just playing. I appreciate y'all.
That was Tim. I'm blaming Tim. Now Tim said you need at least 2 wheels to make it. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Yeah. That's the 1 wheel is pretty dope. But I'm gonna get the 2 wheels on the side with the love, just so I can ride past you. Like, but you know, you gotta, the thing is, like I said, you gotta be intentional, right? Success is intentional. It don't happen, you know, you gotta be like, this is what I want to do, this is how I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna make tweaks to get there. But you gotta figure, that's the part that you gotta, you know, you gotta figure that part out. That's something I can't give you. You know what I mean? It's something that it's just something that can't be given to you. It's kind of like on Matrix when he went to see the Oracle, and the Oracle was like, you got all your answers. Like, I'm just going to tell you what you already know. That's literally what it is. And I'm a huge Matrix fan, but you know, it's a decision that you have to make because you got to live with it. I don't want to tell you to be a dog grooming photographer and you hate dogs, you got allergies, and you got, you know what I'm saying? You sneezing and now you're getting fired and you got snot on dogs, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you like, Ty, why'd you make me do this, man? You crazy. I didn't
Matrix 4 is being filmed, just saying. Matrix 4.
I heard that too. Yeah.
I'll be there.
I've seen the footage. It's being filmed. Yes.
You got inside footage. That's what I'm talking about. So
it's on the web, but yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out. I'm getting this. I don't know if y'all can even hear. We're getting a little hell outside, but it's all good. It's Dallas, baby. We got snow one week, shorts the next. It literally went from 0 to 80 degrees in a matter of 3 days. So that's why you see me with like short sleeve hoodies. Y'all like, this dude confused. Why he got on short sleeve hoodies? Because I live in Dallas. That's why. So yeah, you know, that's me. Just want to let y'all know that. But you know, the business, you know, when it comes to business and figuring out and that's why, not to keep hyping on like module 1, like I talk a lot about personally what you're going to go through, like the emotional side of the business, right? There are some things that I didn't think about getting into this that I had to fully realize, and I had to look in the mirror and be like, are you cut out for this? You know what I'm saying? And if so, where do you want to go? Like, what does success look like for you? You got to determine that before you say, okay, let's do business. You know what I'm saying? And when you make that determination, then you take action. But that's something that you got to figure out before you move. You got to figure out step 1 and 2 before you jump to step 3, or you're going to have to redo 1 and 2 at some point. You know, if you don't build a solid foundation, you can build the prettiest house you want. But at some point, if you don't address that foundation, you're going to have to address that foundation. So, yeah, go ahead, Roger. You say, do we just jump in and talk?
Hey, thanks a lot. First of all, for doing this, man, Ty, what you are doing with this platform is just totally awesome. Because I've been watching, and I know about photography, I know about videography because I got into it, learned, how to, do photography, watching YouTube videos and all this kind of stuff, and done weddings and photo shoots and all this kind of stuff. But it's always been, a little side hustle because first and foremost, I'm my calling is a pastor. I'm a pastor at heart. That's first and foremost. And I pastor a small church here in Southern California. And one of the things that I, because I'm constantly preparing messages 2 or 3 times a week, I always need something to do with my hands because I'm always working with my mind. And so, and I've acquired hobbies and, these hobbies and things, I'm like, well, if I like it and if I do it well, then maybe somebody will pay me for it, And so when I came onto your channel, I was tossing across the idea of empowering people, in our church, to go out and do video because, we have, streaming computers, cameras, and all the stuff sitting around, all week long. And I'm like, well, hey, maybe I can, get a team of people, empower them so they can go out and, make that money and that can help them. And so that's how I got connected with you because, yeah, we've seen the YouTube videos of the gear and stuff, but you were talking business, okay? You were talking business, and that really got to me. And what I kind of niche down on is totally different than what everyone is doing in here, and it's not video and photography. It has to do with yard cards, putting up those letters in people's front yards, for birthdays and all that kind of stuff. And the reason why, because I was kind of figuring out, okay, what niche? Because I'm listening to you, because hey, you got to narrow it down to one thing. And I realized that, hey, I got all these ideas that's in my head. And I was like, you know what? I love to see people smile when they get this, love the reaction that they do have when they see these yard cards and all this kind of stuff. No, it ain't, it ain't, gonna make me a millionaire, but it's the joy. And that's one of the things I believe you're talking to Michael, as he's trying to figure out his niche and what he's trying to do. It's just like you got to jump in and just kind of figure out, what you want to do and then do it. Because I was for a while, trying to figure out, do I, build a website on using WordPress and all this kind of stuff. And I was trying to figure out, will people even, buy these signs or which are rentals. And I started putting it out there a little bit. And then people started, biting. And then all of a sudden I'm like, well, hey, what it's kind of, seem suspect, people inquiring about renting these things, and yet I don't have a website up. And I'm sending them invoices through Square and all this kind of stuff, but yet people still did it. So I was like, hey, I bunkered down, threw WordPress aside and went back to old trusty Squarespace, built my site and got it up. And the moment that I put it up and then went on Facebook and just blasted and say, hey, the website is live. I mean, I've got people who start booking, you know, just like that, just saying that, hey, I'm just focusing on yard cards, you know, signed for the yards right now. People know me as a pastor, and, you know, but, you know, my off thing that, hey, I just do what I can do, you know, in my time. And people are, you know, hitting me up, and I'm like, oh my goodness, now I'm ready to put it on, you know, Google Business and, you know, all of that to get it even more popping, you know, because I'm trying to get my kids. I got a son who's 18 years old, just graduated last year, and he's trying to figure out what he wants to do. So if I can show him that, hey, you know, this is something that maybe you can get into, you know, get you some money and bread in your pocket and all this kind of stuff, maybe it can help you. But the truth is that what you are talking about, Ty, is not just for photography and videography. These business principles, they work across the board. And that's why I keep coming back and, you know, bought your contracts and stuff. And now I'm just trying to save up and to get that course and that you got, master course that you got going on. And with that, hey, don't change your conversation while I'm here. Hey, I'm with it. I'm about it. So, hey, love what y'all doing. Y'all hang in here. And I'm just down to earth guy. What you see is what you get. Thanks.
I was gonna say, first off, you get love because we almost got the same hairstyle going on. So you get love for that off rip. You get love for that. I wanted to tell Michael, like, yo, it took me like 300 weddings to shoot to realize I didn't want to shoot weddings no more. It took me about 300 of them, but I had to create flash film weddings. I had to create that niche, that lane to attract and do it for me to be like, you know what?
Hey, I totally understand. We're all in agreement, right? But I will iterate again. It's the reason is you like, you know, it's just fear of failure, anxiety, and we got kids to feed. You know, it's that there. It's like that's why I want like 0-point focus, because it's not the failing part. It's the fact that, hey, there's people behind me, and they're trailing behind me. So if I trip and fall,
I'm the same.
I'm gonna trip and fall.
Think of it like this: business is like relationships, right? I mean, it's like when you go and you talk to one girl and you tell her, "Hey, I ain't thinking about them. I'm here talking to you." It's way better than the girl who's seen you talk to 5 of her friends. She like, I don't know. I just seen you talk to 5 of you. Now you over here. It is almost nothing you can say to win that. You got to really, really. It's harder than if you just like, listen, I ain't thinking about them. This whole club full of. I'm here talking to you. You know what I mean? I ain't about to talk to nobody else all night. I'm gonna keep buying you drinks until you say yes. I'm gonna call you. So I mean, business works that same way. And you're never. It take a rich man to have a lot of wives. I don't even know if that sounds right, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, it take a rich. You know what I'm saying? Like Coca-Cola got 20 different brands, but they didn't start that way. You know, it seems fun, but you just got to have a lot to be successful in a lot of places. I don't know if that came out right, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's just. You know, understand what I'm saying? It's easy to have one that you could just focus on and love, and you know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, you get what I'm saying. It's just got to focus on. You got to get one girlfriend in business and love that one girlfriend. It's, you know, it's about quality, not quantity, I guess. You know, so you know, I mean, just think about it. And then, like I said, Tim can jump in on it. If I got a friend right now that has a company that is in kitchenware. He's doing cutting boards. I'm sorry. Right. And he is now being faced with the idea of understanding that if you want to advertise under cutting board, that's very expensive. Then he got kitchen tools. Then he got this type of cutting board. Then he got cheese boards. He's trying to come up under 20 different keywords. And it's a lot just for this one industry to stretch out to be under 20 keywords. And then you're trying to do that for 5 different industries. You got to have deep pockets and a whole lot of time to do that. So it's a lot easier to be successful if you focus on one and be like, all right, I'm gonna dump everything into this. Because when you want to start going into different stuff, it's just a lot, man. It's just a lot. And Roger, you're absolutely correct. No matter what field you in, because I plan on releasing some stuff talking about photo booths. I jumped in photo booths and it's slightly different. And the audience is completely different. However, it was something where my target audience just overlapped them a little bit. I'm doing corporate, like corporate photo booth. Yeah, it overlaps it enough to where it is profitable, and I can turn some of my clients into those, or something that I can add on to be appealing to my clients, especially when I'm doing events. And that's something that I didn't think about a photo. I didn't wake up one day and say I wanted to do a photo booth. I just noticed that out of 5 out of the 6 events that I'm booked for, there was a photo booth there. So that's something that I can sell, add on, and they can book all in one place. So it was just something that bloomed into that. I didn't wake up one day thinking I wanted to take over the globe. I really didn't even advertise it. I just had a page so that when I sold it as an upsell, people can go see. I really didn't push it a lot separately. It was something that I wanted to bring with me so I can keep my eye on my attendant and, stuff like that. And it just grew into something that when other things were out of season, photo booths was still popping. Like, it was going like crazy. People have birthdays all day long, every part of the year. So it didn't take a dip. So it was something that just came out of me strictly doing corporate event photography. It blossomed into doing the video side of it, and then the photo booth side of it, and then the live streaming side of it. It just came together. So, but once you narrow down that one niche, you'll definitely get it. You'll definitely get it. Yeah. Any other questions? I know we kind of got off the original using talent, but I want to make sure everybody good on these questions and more.
I mean, if you feel free to say no to answering this, but I would definitely like to see an example of proposal plus like what you're actually presenting to someone who's paying you, pretty much, because I know you mentioned before, you don't just let them have like a simple invoice or whatever it is. Like you show them the value that you're presenting to them.
So and it's something that, and I probably even it's in like module 2, we got a whole section about proposals, and I even plan on going back to give more visuals, because I want to make sure that I am showing. I give you examples I give you general examples, but I think I want to do more of showing exactly what I'm doing, even though exactly what I'm doing, if you're in a different niche, may not work, but I want to make sure I give people enough examples to build off of. So when it comes to proposals, I'm trying to see if I can pull it up here. I'll break it down so whatever you're using, it works. So I like to use Proposalify. And in Proposalify, I have sections that are checkable, that if I put a price tag in it, I can fill out the description. If you check it, it adds to the overall price. In that box that I usually leave under my proposal. Now, these are different. I got different proposals for everything that I offer. So corporate event photography will have a different proposal that I'm sending to you, completely different than if I was doing corporate event videography. Because in my proposal, that's corporate event photography, I'm going to have pictures of things that I've done on the cover throughout the proposal, because it's a 10-page proposal. And even if I'm talking about what the workflow is, I'm showing behind the scenes photos or finished photos of whatever product that I'm selling. So that's why if we're doing business for a corporate photography and I send you that proposal, it has only pictures that relate to that product and only testimonials that relate to that product. And then I'll go into pricing, and then I'll have my upsell or a la carte items that'll have descriptions that sometimes I don't even get a chance to push them on the client. It's just that when the client get the proposal and they're reading through it, they're like, yeah, I need this. Yeah, I need that. So that's how I personally do it. Tim, you had something you want to jump in and say?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of, because the way we do proposals is a bit different. And I think that hearing the two different methods, because one is it, like Ty said, it depends on your niche. And like for us, we don't necessarily have like a boilerplate kind of proposal, that kind of stuff. Like for us, we do a lot of the discovery type method. We'll sit down with you, and realistically, what we do is we'll take a look at everything, right? And we will try to create things or have things related to what we're essentially going to talk to you about and how we can help you make more money. So like if one of those is we kind of want to, you know, some of the copy on your website, we would take the copy that we think needs to be rewritten and actually rewrite it and put it side by side. That way they could see what they have and what they need. And I think that you can do the same thing in your proposals. The things that really drive people to do the sales is tangibly as you showing them the differences. That's why, like, one of the things is, you know, like if you do corporate headshots or you do whatever, have them send you their original headshots, what you did, and show them that stark difference. That's why like fitness companies do it all the time. Like, here I was 200 pounds overweight. Here I am, you know, after I lost 200 pounds. The reason they do that is because it sells, right? You can do the exact same thing, you know, and if it's not necessarily like a video, image, any of that stuff, like go and be like, look, here's a video that they posted on their page. It got 50 views. Here's one that the one that we did, it got 5,000 views. Being able to show those different contrasting things helps make the client understand why they need this thing, right? And I think if you can do that, and like I said, for us, we actually write the proposal normally with the client in the meeting. And if there's anything, like as we kind of talk and right, like with the actors, right? The thing is we'll be like, okay, so we want to do this, like, you know, we have a set amount of actors that we work with, and like here's some projects that didn't have actors, so you can kind of see like how that performance kind of went. Here's with some of the actors that we work with, you can really kind of see a difference. And I asked them, like, which one of these do you want to have? And I want the one with the actors. Okay, we'll check that off. We'll write that in there. And they already know that, because that, and I'm sure that you guys have started to notice, like that's one of the things that I do is I don't tell people what they need. I ask them if they want that thing. Just like earlier, whenever I asked you guys, do you guys want that? Is that something you find interesting? Maybe not. And if you don't want it, then I'm not going to give it to you, right? I never try to sell things or push stuff that I don't think you're going to need. We just bring it to your attention, and I make you make that decision, right? So that's how we look at proposals. That's how we kind of do it. And really, like, our proposals are very like, here's all the things that we talked about. I like to go in and have as much of the material as possible, right? Like if you are like, you know, here's our website. I'm like, here's literally pages and pages that I can go through to talk to you about. Here's what I think we need to make changes on. Here's a sales process that you have now. What are the conversion rates like on there? How is that working? And then here's something that we've done in the past that's proven to work. Do you think you can benefit from something similar? Right? Because like I said, I'm not telling them that. I'm just presenting the information and letting them come up to the conclusions themselves.
And especially when you work with, and the good thing about with marketing, you're working with different brands. If you are a content creator and you got this specific type of audience you work with all day long, it'll get easier and easier, because they're gonna have the same problems, the same questions, the same issues, the same objections. That's why I say once you start working in that niche, the problems that you have, you're only gonna get stumped by them the first 2-3 clients. Like by client 3, you're like, that's easy. In your head, you're like, that's all you got, Chief? Like, that's your best punch? You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite like kung fu movies is watching Bruce Lee when I forgot what movie it was. You know, when the group try to jump him and that one guy get a kick off and he like, huh? He look at the blood and then he look at my man and my man is like trembling, like You know what I'm saying? Because you know the nunchucks is coming out. Like that's literally how I am in meetings when people try to hit me with an objection. I'm just used to overcoming. I'm like, huh? Like, okay, like, yeah, this is, and then I'm just going back at it. So, and I try to, when I create the proposals, again, I make sure that it's specific to that, whatever they're getting, their package, your upsell items can relate to them. Don't sell somebody, something totally different. Sell something that is in line with what you're selling. And a great company to show you to do that is Apple. Go put a computer with Apple together and watch. They offer you they don't try to sell you even a bag. They don't care about that. They're trying to sell you that RAM upgrade. They're trying to sell you that hard drive upgrade. They ain't talking about no stickers and none of that crap for it. You can't even decide whether or not you want a trackpad or a mouse until you figured out what the internals look like. Then they take you to that, and then they upsell and add Final Cut and all of that. But they are excellent at the idea of upsell. Enter the Dragon. That's right. Tim, I think you had something else you want to jump on real quick.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with the objection part. Is once you have a specific industry and you really focus in on that, the best thing that you can do is, like I said, with your proposals, any of that, all of your upsells should, to a degree, try to solve some kind of objection that somebody has or something, right? That's why, like, even if you look at, right, if a client always says, like, well, how do we know that this video is going to work? In there, that's why you can have, here's what most people post, and then here's after. Then they never even have that objection because you already answered that. And that's the thing, is if you can essentially take all those objections and put them there and show them, like, give them proof, like, right, like, here's what they looked like before, right? If it's like, well, how do we know that your pictures are going to look good? Well, here's what those people's pictures look like before. Here's what ours look like in comparison. And the big thing is really what that comes down to is it's called anchoring. It's a form of cognitive bias, where pretty much the first piece of information people get, that is what they're going to base everything off of. That's at times, like, if you go and you have ever gone anywhere and asked, like, if you're looking at a TV, they're going to show you the most expensive TV and show you the top end price of that.
Okay, well, oh, there you go. Okay, he's back.
They go and they show you a TV that's maybe only $900, and it just is a little bit different. That TV now looks way more appealing. Even if you weren't going and wanting to spend $900, you're going to start justifying why spending $900 is the right decision.
It's like the sales portion is really, 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 really just a big part of understand. Like, mostly is your audience, right? You'll know how to sell them. How you sell to, again, a 15-year-old is different than how you sell to a 25-year-old. It's just different. It's different. And as it's hard to do everywhere. But when you say, all right, this is my focus, it's easier to do. It's like the movie 300. They couldn't handle all of the armies at once, but when they locked down that tunnel, that little pathway, they said, we're going to lock down this pathway and we're going to tear up everybody that come through here. And that's exactly what they did. Undermanned and not even with the right tools, but because they were able to lock down that niche, that little valleyway, they were able to kind of tear up everybody that came through there. And that's just me re-saying that business works kind of the same way. But being as narrow as possible helps. It's hard to love everybody. It's easy to love one person, and less expensive and less of a headache. Don, you say you okay with more than one? What you was about to say, bro? Go ahead, jump in there.
Yeah, putting a few like that now. I work at Compass Real Estate, and I just got to watch the whole pitch process for Evoker. They make basically agent branding videos. So they're like 2 to 2.5 minutes long. And basically I got to witness the entire funnel because they were selling to our agents. And their copy and just all of the things that they use to influence a quick sales pipeline was incredible to watch. And of course, I'm looking at it as a swipe file, so I could put y'all on game if you want to see it. I got to pull a Tim. If that's interesting to you, then I got the goods and I can show it to y'all. But yeah, just want to put that out there, and you can look up Evoker Films if you're trying to figure out what they do.
Yeah, definitely drop those jewels. We'll definitely take that. Definitely bring that up. GMO Production asked a really good question. He said, when working for the content creators, should you send them the contracts if they were a client and take them through the same process? For example, how we send our second shooter contract. So if you're working with another client, they should be providing you with a second shooter contract agreement because you are their second shooter. You wouldn't really submit contracts up. They would kind of come down. Unless it's your client and you brought them. Like there's been times where I was smaller and I brought in bigger companies to represent my brand. I was still the boss, even though they're helping me with my client and they're a bigger company. They're doing it under, I guess you can only say under the label of Flash Film Media. So I would present contracts to them. But usually if you're a second shooter, the contract is coming for you to sign because they don't want you to steal their client. There's almost nothing for you to lose by being a second shooter. You can kind of show up drunk and tear it up and it'll be their fault, not yours. Not saying do that, but I've had like contractors show up just high and drunk and I would send them right back home, not taking it serious. It has happened.
I still remember that one story about you hired someone and they got some little bit of an odor and you just dumped.
I had to.
They dumped Febreze on it.
Real quick, for those who haven't heard that story, I can't remember if I need to tell it on Todd's Tale. I had a drone operator that showed up to a shoot with a big client. It was Google, let's be real. And they smell like straight weed at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, dude, get out my van. Get out of here. We're not about, and we had to go into we weren't going into Google's headquarters. They were building a data facility and they had like trailers, on the construction site. We had to go in for a safety brief and it's like 20 people in the trailer. I'm in a van and I smell you. It's not happening, bro. Go back home because you're not about to mess this up for my brand. And this was a guy who begged me for, please hire me. Please, man, I got my drone insurance. He begged me for like 2 years. And this was the first shot I gave him for one of my biggest clients ever. I mean, and it was a contract that was a layup, bro. It was like a $8,000 a week contract with like 192-month deal that only took 4 hours a week to do. Literally. It was a layup. It was
How do you fumble the ball on the goal line? You've been begging for 2 years to do a job with you, and you're gonna show up like that.
And I mean, he got in the truck. What? I was like, I smelled him before he opened the door. I smelled him before he opened. I'm like, bro, I don't even have a problem. That's what you do. That's cool, but don't do it on the way to work. Not with me. I it's not a good look. But what's up? I think somebody else had a quick question, real quick. I had a hand up.
That was Tim. Tim had his hand up. Tim is great at marketing.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say it's one of those things that I always find very surprising is it sounds crazy, but I don't know how many people I've met that are like that. They make it all the way. They're at like 92% and they stop right there. They never finish right there. And that's like, it kills me because I don't know how many brands, businesses, everything. And that's the big thing is I'm like, you always have to continue pushing until you get that result that you want. Like you have to just keep going. And I know that I shared the Scary Good Creed, and I'm like, that is what helps me push to those last 2%. Like that, like I said, why I took so long to write and create and do that kind of stuff, but it's because I don't know how many times, like, a perfect example is we were trying to reach out to a client we created an ad for them, did all that. We're like, hey, you know, we created this ad for you, 100% for free. There you go. They're like, great, this looks great. Still have never even posted that ad. Cost them nothing. One of the best advertisements that they have run, as I said, we've back cataloged all the ads that they had, never even ran it. And I'm like, it didn't cost you anything, but then, you know, we go back and look a few days later and they complain because we don't have this, we don't do that. And I'm like, you didn't even post literally the ad that we created for you for free that plenty of clients willingly pay us for. But I'm like, but that just tells me that you are not the right client for us.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter. You can pay me, but if you don't take it and you don't go, I can't help you. Literally.
Because when they fail, you're going to look like the bad guy. There was something that I was reading that subconsciously there are people who are afraid of success. They work for it, and the thought of them actually having success scares them. It's the same type of person who's never had money before, and they start making money and they feel like they got to blow it. Like I got to just spin through it, you know, because I don't feel it unless my account is at $20 because that's what I'm used to it being. I don't know what to do because it's at 10,000. I feel like I got to go buy everything I was missing. And then there are some people that would, if they had 10,000 in their account, they'd be swinging from a rope. That's nothing. So you got to kind of, you know, you got to, the mental side of business is real. And I tell people all the time, it's the book side, it's the actual business side, but the mental side, making sure that the mental health is there on this lonely journey of, you know, success it's very important that you strengthen that side as well. Go for it, Ronnie.
And that's I think a really integral part of what we do as entrepreneurs, right? And I think Pastor, I forgot his name. I'm trying to look at him right now. Ronderick, is that right? Okay. When he talked about he's been watching you and following you, right? And I don't know for how long exactly, but it's amazing to know the folks that watch you and others. You might not see them active a lot, but you connect with them because this right here, if you don't have this right, everything else fails. At some point in time, it will fall. And that's why I think it really is important what you do and you being here and not just teaching the side of the gear and, you know, hey, look at this new Sony, you know, whatever, or this new Canon or whatever. I've been preaching this for a long time right with you. And I know Tim was right on the same, you know, on the same ball game, man. It's not about the gear. It's about skill set. It's about strengthening this, not just in your technique and your knowledge base, but making sure you got good mental health. And so when you've mentioned this numerous times that a lot of times these gold, especially the gold member lives, it's not just for us, it's for you, right? And I think it's so important for us to be able to have a place for us to be able to kind of congregate and get together and bounce ideas off each other. Like with Mike, just, and not picking on you at all, Mike, I'm saying this in a good way. No, and I know you laugh at a little bit, man, but I think it's really good for you and healthy for you and other folks like myself and Ty and Tim and everybody else to be able to have somewhere where you can go and put your heart on your sleeve and say, look, dude, I'm struggling. I don't know how to get where I want to go. Or I know I want to get there and I've been doing this and doing this and doing this, but it's not working. And I think it's so crucial to be able to have a community and almost even say, you know, a family of sorts that we can come together and be able to work with one another and work for one another and not against.
I totally agree with that. And that's why I make sure it's important that I let everybody know that every level that you are on thinking that you're not going, like the world is ending. I've been there and I thought that too. Every level that you on, like I've been there. I mean, I literally paid thousands to have somebody tell me to do less. And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't understand what you mean. I paid thousands for that one lesson to get a mentor to look at my website and be like, bro, I don't know what you do. You doing everything. I don't trust you for nothing. And I did not get it until he really was like, yo, you do everything. You the man pushing the cart that's selling cheeseburgers, macaroni, cupcakes, mop heads, skunk hats. You selling everything out this cart. I don't know what to buy from you, bro. I don't trust you. You got a TV hanging off the side. You hustle man right now. I just don't know I can't give you top dollar for anything. I'm negotiating everything. You know what I'm saying? It's the guy you approach and you look both ways like, yo, how about I give you this for that? Like that's how your website and stuff look. I'm gonna give you, listen here, look, I don't got a deal. You can't, and that's how you're presented. And I didn't know that. I'm thinking like, what you mean I can do this? I'm thinking I'm more valuable because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I got all these. I'm a Swiss Army knife. Nobody buy a Swiss Army knife to cut anything. You buy a Swiss Army knife just in case something happened. Like, but if you want to cut something, you're gonna get you one of them Crocodile Dundee, them big old nice knives. You're gonna get one of them. If you really got to cut something and get that your life depended on it, you're not gonna bust out a Swiss Army knife. It's just not gonna happen, fam. Like those are like cute, but they're not, you know what I'm saying? So you got one, that's just a knife. I got look on deck right there, military grade, just in case. You know what I'm saying? You got the Swiss Army. Okay. You got it, you just gotta, business is intentional like that. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very intentional. Success is intentional. It ain't luck. You got to be like, this is what I want to do. This is how I'm doing it. This is where it's going to happen at. And that's just how it works. And you got to put life in the headlock sometime, and you got to just run it. Like, yo, this is what we're doing. I'm not about to, go ahead, Mike. Yeah. Mike, you gotta just jump in there. You can't just be putting your hand up. You gotta be like, Ty, shut up. Let me ask. Oh,
hell no. No, I come here, I put it like what Rodney said, I put my heart on the sleeve because yes, I am struggling. I need help. And I'm here because you got all you guys, Ty knows this, you guys are my battles or battle buddies.
That's what we call them now.
Yeah, and this is the closest thing to a battle that I got. And I am struggling to a battle right now because of the things that are going through. And I put it on my sleeve because I trust you guys. You guys been through several, not just ages, but you guys are into certain things. But what I'm going through, I haven't experienced yet. And it wrecks me right now. It wrecks me because this is a venture I'd never been to. But I want to go. I so want to go to do this thing. I so want to do it. But I feel imposter syndrome. Am I really? That's the mental things. Like, am I really cut out to do it?
You cut out to do it. You cut out to do it. I can tell you already you cut out to do it. You know what I mean? You know the stuff I faced that I felt like I wasn't cut out to do? I joined the military at 28, bro. I was old. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking I'm about to get through the military at 28, bro. You know what I'm saying? They retiring in the league at 28. I'm 28 trying to do this. This dude's hanging up their shoes for good. Here I am trying to be G.I. Joe after playing too much Call of Duty. I'm like, yo, I can do this for real. And Call of Duty, I ain't ran one bit. My thumb tired. I can't even play Call of Duty all night. My thumb tired from running. And here I am showed up for real thinking I'm about to do this Army thing at 28, bro. Getting yelled at by 21-year-olds telling in my face. I'm like, boy, I got draws your age. Get out of here, bro. Like, get out of here. So, you know what I'm saying? Trying to, it's just like trying to figure it out, thinking I won't be able to do it, but you're gonna definitely do it. And I I love that you're a part of this family, man, because I love to see just the growth you've done so far, right? You've grown so far. So it's gonna continue to happen. You're gonna continue to grow. And we just here to pop champagne with you. We just here to say, I told you so. Because you can definitely do it. Do you remember? Okay, this is something like I'm gonna share an experience that you will probably be able to relate to. Anybody who's been military can relate to it. When you go to basic training, it sucks, right? It's not, you hate it. You absolutely hate life. You don't think that you can do it. You got to run 2 miles in 15 minutes. You like, how, Sway? Like, I ain't 15 minutes, 2 miles. My car don't even I can't do that on a bike, bro. Like, what is you talking about? You're going to have to do that. And then you finally graduate basic training, or you get ready to graduate basic training, and you put on all your gear. The part that choked me up the most about basic is when you finally graduate, you finally get your gear, you finally get your full battle rattle, you got your chest plate on, your helmet, your weapon, and they congratulate you for being one of the baddest warriors to ever walk across this planet. You are a part of the most elite fighting force to ever breathe. You made it. Old scrawny dude or old dude or whatever dude from wherever, you have done what only 1% of the population has done. Going into that, I would have never thought I was going to do that. I'd have never thought I made it. Right? I'd have never thought but that runtime kept coming down. It started at 20 minutes a mile, and it was 15 minutes a mile. Then it was, 10 minutes a mile. Then I started getting 2 miles and like you just started chipping at it. And one day you wake up and you there. And you never thought you'd be there. Business is the same way. Right? You wake up in some penthouse and you like, get off me, girl, go get my pet tiger out the bathroom. And you never saw that coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just happens like that, but you like, go feed the pet giraffe. And you think Michael Jackson woke up feeling like he was going to be where he was at. But, you got to just chip at it to keep it serious. It just takes, you're going to just keep, it's a bunch of little steps to go up the side of this mountain. And you just keep doing it, bro. You're going to see, you're going to go look at my videos, right? Look at the first live. You see how trash it was? And look at just where we are now. Like, I got 10 images on the screen. We can talk simultaneously. Like, it didn't start off like that. It was down there from a cell phone. Like, so there's progress with anything that you do consistently, and you want to grow at it and you want to stick to it and you want to, build upon it. You just got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Get used to that. In the Army, they called it, and it's for lack of better terms, they call it, I hate to even say it, but I'm going to say it. In the Army, they called it embrace the suck. That means stuff just sucks. Embrace it, right? Embrace it, and things will get better. And it's just, that's just, that's just business. If it was that easy, everybody would start a business, but very few do for that reason. And my goal is to show you that what you're going through now is just a hurdle. You're going to forget about it, right? You're going to forget about it in a month, 2 months. You're going to be like, I remember when and now you're like, I remember when listen, photography wise, I remember where I would spend all day taking 80,000 pictures to hope I had something that was dope. And now I walk in like, okay, snap, I'm done. I know how to set up my lighting. I know what I came here to get. I captured it. I'm out. And it's just, you know what I'm saying? You knew as a photographer, you do all kind of outdoor photography. You knew when you didn't know where the sun should be or my shadows and this lenses. And now you're like, pop, we out. So business, it just works the same way, right? You didn't walk into it thinking you may not have walked into photography thinking you were going to be as good as you are now. And it just, it's just something that you build and grow on. I never thought that I would get to where I am now, but these lives are therapy for you, just like they therapy for me. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I don't leave with nothing. I grow a lot working with other people because there's a lot of things in my head that I did that caused things to change that I didn't think about because I never took a step back and looked at myself in the position that, say, for instance, you're in when I was in that situation with hindsight, like to have the ability to say, oh, this is exactly what I did to get out of here. So I'm going to write this prescription for you. Try this. And this is exactly what I ran into. So it's just, it's good to have community. It's good to have family. It's good to have camaraderie. It's good to have people who are going through what you're going through. It's good to have somebody on the other side of that. I still seek mentors that's doing, tens of millions. I still seek, leadership from people. I still encourage those who may be better at something to come on and speak and talk and be a part of this thing. Tim is great at marketing. That's not my strong suit. There's a ton of things to learn from that. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about surrounding yourself with people who want success as well, that's willing to help everybody and share stuff with each other and grow with each other and push each other and sometimes tell each other, hey, that ain't the right thing, bro. Like, that ain't right. Nope. Change that up. And being in a position where you're willing to accept that. that is how I got here with just Flash Film Academy, let alone Flash Film Media. Flash Film Academy came from people saying, hey, I wish there was more of this, or there was less of that, or this or that. That's how I got here from you. Think about it. Input that you gave me helped me help you from your input. You know what I'm saying? Like, I recognize your face. I know your name when you pop up. There's things that you said, and I'm like, you know what? You're right. Let me tweak or add that for you. And then I'll give it right back to you, and you'll grow it into something and give it right back to me. And we'll just do that all day. So, I mean, that's what it, that's why it's important to have people in your life who are dedicated to dedicated to watering the seed in our head of business. Because the world is designed to send you back to work, for lack of better terms. The world is designed for you to clock in and do that and then go die somewhere. Spend 10 years retired and go off and go to sleep somewhere. Tim, you had something you wanted to jump in, bro?
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing, like a lot of people, see where we're at, and I'm like, we still have mentors. I still pay for mentors. And talk to people that are way more successful. And my big thing is I'm always looking at what are the things that I can learn from every single person and every single situation, because even if same level, I should be able to learn something from you as much as you should be able to learn from me. And I think the thing is a lot of people don't proactively pull that information. A lot of people just sit back and think that it's just gonna, be implanted in your mind and that's it. And that's why, like I said, I mean, I'm very much so, and if you've ever watched any of our videos, and it's something that I'm going to probably be talking about in upcoming episodes and on our channel, but I'm very much like a Renaissance mindset kind of person where I like to go and do a lot of different things, pull from a lot of different experiences. It was kind of funny because I don't remember who I was talking with. I'm like, I look at everything, right? Every successful business that's out there, right? Like McDonald's. I don't know why I always pick McDonald's, but I'm like, just because I don't make burgers, I don't do that, I still look at what can I gain from McDonald's? What can I learn? What can I take that they do and implement into our company, right? And that's really where you get innovation, is looking at what other people in other industries successfully, and how can you bring that to your industry? Does it make sense? Can you do those kinds of things? And yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm very much so just, I want to learn as many things as I can in a bunch of different areas. Like I said, that's my process. I really like it. And yeah, I mean, always seeking out mentors, and like Ty was saying, even just having this, being able to talk to you guys, see what you guys are struggling with, that kind of stuff, and gaining more clarity in what you guys are struggling with, or what you guys need help with, or something that you guys are doing really well, like maybe how do we implement in our business? Like, you'd be surprised how many things that I've looked at on some of your guys' websites that I'm like, I wonder if we did something similar to that. I wonder if we took this and moved this here and did that, if we could see results from those things. Like I said, that's how I'm always looking at things. And I think that, it's just important to always keep that open mindset about things, and never, like I said, I think that the worst phrase that people say all the time is, I know that already. Like, as soon as I stopped saying that and said, oh, I know that, it's really like, how can I take that, make it better, or implement that to actually see results?
And I think once your brain start, like, I'm gonna go back and use the Matrix reference, but you ever, like, on the Matrix when they're watching the green screen and you're like, I don't even see what are they looking at, but they're like telling each other, like, once you've been in the Matrix, once you get it, you'll see it. It'll make, like, once that business mind start going, you're gonna just look at businesses and be like, wow. Like, wow. And it's funny that you use McDonald's as an example, but that's one of my favorite examples on, the idea of the burger, right? They don't make the best cheeseburger, but don't nobody sell as many cheeseburgers as them. Why? Because they understand that there are things more important than the taste of that burger. And it's just mind blowing when you sit back and be like, dang, that's true. I can't name nobody that make a burger worse than McDonald's, but I can't name nobody that's selling more burgers than McDonald's, because they understand what's the most important thing. And that comes with business. They've perfected it. While everybody else is trying to sell you flame broiled and fresh, never frozen, and this is the best tasting burger with, organic meat that was raised from cows that got to roam free and smoke and do drugs and live a good life and go to Vegas. Our cows just had the best life. They party like Rick James, and the meat tastes like it. Like McDonald's is like, we selling you frozen patty bricks for $1 though. Like $1? You got a frozen patty brick and a fry where if you lose it under your seat, it'll never mold or change shape or color. You can just heat it back up and eat it. Our whole Happy Meal, if you lose it, you can just heat it back up, sprinkle some water. Y'all know y'all sprinkle water on your spaghetti before it go in the microwave. Y'all don't do that? Before you right in between.
Of course you do. You got to keep that moisture so it doesn't dry out, man.
Right between. Come on now, I ain't the only person that's sprinkling water on their spaghetti. Thank you, Ronnie. You got my back. You sprinkle some
always, man, always
on your spaghetti, and you mix it and you sprinkle it, and then you put it in the microwave. Just if you don't learn nothing else from me, it's fat guy tip number 276. You sprinkle it with a little water, you mix it up, you sprinkle it again, and then you put it in the microwave. It'll taste like you just made it. And then you got time to get your butter bread going. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's fat guy. Tune in next week to Fat Guy Food Tip.
Hashtag life hacks.
We did Fat Guy Life Hacks. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry for you guys that are, close to the ideal shape. For us triple XXL and 3XL guys, hey, we got to keep those tips alive. You know what I'm saying? So sprinkle some water on your meatballs and your spaghetti and mix it, and then sprinkle. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. If you don't learn anything, you're gonna learn how to eat. Messing with me. With that being said, I gotta get ready to wrap. We got another storm rolling through. We getting hell. It's all kind of craziness. So I do want to thank everybody. Alex, we got 2 guys who haven't said nothing, so I'm gonna give them about like 20 seconds of screen time. Alex, we about to come to you, but we got one more guy. We got to hear his voice real quick. There you go. Let me give you a little screen time. What's going on, bro?
Hello, everybody. Andy, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm from Rome. Excuse my English, and thank you, all of you, for doing this. It's very, very good. I've been listening to you, and I'm building a little business of videography in the beauty industry.
What time is it in Rome?
It's very late. It's 4:30 in the morning.
Okay, so much love for you for being up to 4:30 in the morning to jump on this live.
I have to
Much
do it.
love for you, bro. Like that is, gosh, 4:30. That no pressure on Alex. He got to come behind you next. He don't know that, but I don't know what he gonna say. I don't think he can top 4:30 in the morning, but I'm gonna give him about 10 seconds to get it together to know what he's gonna say to top. But I don't know if he can top Rome at 4:30 in the morning.
He's been there for 3 days straight.
You got to say something like that. He's been something. But I want to thank you for jumping on with us at 4:30 in the morning in Rome. We talked before, so I already know what's up. But I just want to thank you for jumping on.
I do this every week. It's not the one thing.
It's not the one. Okay.
I have to do it. It's my goal to do
That's
it.
what's up. 4:30 in the morning. That's gosh, I'm gonna have to. One day I'm gonna come on live at 4:30 in the morning just for you, so it can be like regular time there. I'm gonna do it one day because I'll be up. I ain't gonna lie, I'll be up late, just working on stuff. When you got kids and they go to sleep, you be like, all right, it's my time.
The information is worth it. The information is worth it.
I appreciate it, man. And your support, the support is what keeps me going. We're gonna go live to the OWN network where we have Alex here. Go ahead, jump on there real quick. I got to message you because you got the documentary. What's the name of that show that's on TV One? What's the name of the show?
Yeah. Man, I haven't watched cable in so long, but I've been up since 3 a.m. Does that count?
Okay. You see that each? Okay.
It's 10:30 East Coast. So,
but are you in Rome though? Are you in Rome?
No, I can't say I'm in Rome. I'm just in Florida. You know. Yeah, that's how I feel every day.
No, I gotta give you a little hard time. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening for a little while. Just want to show my face. Been missing you guys, but I've been listening to the stream for a little while tonight. Just want to show some love because Ty be dropping the knowledge bombs, every day. So that was the wrong button. Wrong page. There goes knowledge bombs.
I like that. I like the bomb. I want to clues bombs real quick. I like that.
Yeah, so you be dropping the knowledge bombs all the time. I try to catch it as much as I can. But family wants me home, so I can't always be on the live streams.
I'm gonna tell you, for me, like I just signed up for YouTube Premium, so you can play videos and like close the app and just listen to it in your ear while they live and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I'll be listening when I can't hop on here, but I like to hop on and actually be able to talk with everybody. I learn stuff. So
it's my favorite part of the week too, man. Favorite part of the week. Before I go real quick, I know Tim, you wanted to say one more thing. I think you had your hand up. You good? Everybody good?
I will say one thing.
Hmm?
If y'all aren't on Clubhouse, y'all are missing out on an opportunity. I've been on Clubhouse for like 3 weeks since I've been up there and just going in different rooms and talk about what I know, like video and how it relates to marketing, LinkedIn, all that stuff. Dude, I've got more leads this month than I could believe. Like I landed one client and got I got a bunch of leads. I'll just put it like that. And did not expect it, but hey, I like to talk, and apparently I said something smart.
Clubhouse. There you go. I never thought about that. I never thought about using it for that purpose. I'm never looking into it.
I was super surprised, dude. And I know you're on there. I'm following you. So you're on there and start talking. Like, there's no reason why, especially with you doing the podcast and everything, that you shouldn't be hooking up your iPhone or iPad and simulcasting to Clubhouse while you're doing this stuff. And
I did it one week. I'm gonna do it more.
It's dude, you're missing out.
I'm gonna definitely do it. Now that you say you're making money off that, you ain't telling me that, man. You didn't say I was going.
I'm as surprised as you, bro. Like people started popping up in my LinkedIn inbox, like, "Hey, what you doing?"
See, I get the wrong messages like that. So yeah, that's cool. We're gonna talk about it because the pastor here, but we're gonna talk about that later. You know what I'm saying? I block him though, but for respect to the pastor, we're gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Bless your heart, Ty. Bless your heart.
That's darn shame wrong, Ty. That's wrong.
We're gonna just try to keep it, But I usually block them. But I get so much junk mail on my LinkedIn, it's not even funny. Like I was probably people telling me happy birthday from like 2 years ago. I just don't open it. And I'm probably missing out on some leads.
You definitely are. Like, bro, like if you started going in on LinkedIn heavy, bruh, as much stuff as you know and as well as you speak to business concepts, bro.
I'm trying to get approved to go live on it from my channels, but you got to get approved from LinkedIn.
Yeah, start putting videos up on, if you want to get approved for LinkedIn Live, because I have LinkedIn Live, start posting videos on LinkedIn. They're giving preference. And I mean, nobody knows exactly what they're looking for, but from what we've observed, it seems like they're giving a preference to people who post video content on a regular basis. You've already got Restream, which is one of their things. Like, it seems like if you got a Restream account or what's that other thing? It's like Restream, but it's not as good.
StreamYard.
That one. StreamYard. So you got you got to use a third party website to stream to LinkedIn. So you already got Restream, so you're good there. You start posting video content on the regular, and it seems like if you have a paid account, they give you more preference. I mean, they want their money, but dude, I know you would land clients.
I'm gonna definitely look into it. I'm gonna definitely start doing it. I did one Tuesday live I did on Clubhouse, and I got like 3 people. So, but I'm gonna definitely do it. I'm gonna start off doing it. take steps until we get to the top.
Yeah, there's actually like a pretty good sized videographer community, rooms all the time about marketing and business and all that stuff, branding. So I'm sure you get up there and start smashing them stages, dude.
I definitely will. I definitely will look into that. We're getting hit hard. Okay, with that being said, I'm gonna wrap because I don't want to be here when the lights go off live on YouTube because I think we're getting a hailstorm right now. Sounds like fun. And I got a tin roof. So yeah. Here in this part of it. There you go. So right on this part of the add-on is that's what I'm talking about. All right, fellas. Hey, I want to thank y'all again for y'all support. All of y'all, everybody from all over the world, every time zone. I really, 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 really appreciate you guys because trust me, sometimes you'd be like, I don't know if I want to, and then I see the faces and I'm like, yeah, these guys are gonna have fun tonight. So I definitely want to thank y'all. I definitely want to thank y'all for being a part of it. And everybody stay safe. Stay safe, my friend, wherever you are, if it's cold or hot and cold like it is here, or if you're just chilling, having a beer, make sure you definitely stay safe. And I will definitely see you guys on Tuesday and then again next Thursday. There you go. All right, everybody. I'll see y'all later.
Bruh.